Hello everyone and welcome to the show where after the collision we sift through
the wreckage.
The wreckage. I am your host Jimmy T. He is my co-host, the best in the world, Jamie the Vet Williams, and of course we've got a special guest. He's been doing the hard yards in wrestling podcasts. It is R to the B to the V. Welcome back once again to the wreckage.
First and foremost, when I'm talking AEW, it is Dynamite Dick, because we're bringing that explosive energy that Mr. TK and his brand. But I got to ask the Hamin Army, what are you going to do, brother, when we got 13 hours of AEW to review?
That's an understatement, Rick. And not just 13 hours of AEW, but goddamn another 20 hours of WWE. Vet, it's Christmas in July for professional wrestling fans. Tell me you weren't excited.
You know, I just couldn't contain myself. I had to like shut myself off and just not watch All In. That was my only choice. I would have died. And you don't want that. You can't lose the best in the world. You can't do it without me. So
that's true.
I did this for all of you. I completely skipped All In. And I'm counting on you guys for the hard carry on that point. Just like I will usher you quickly through this week of final build to the great stadium event that was, I'm sure, a classic. And I've avoided most of the spoilers. So wow. I'll be surprised as you guys break it down for me later on.
Well, funny you bring that up, Vet, because, you know, me and Rick... Obviously, we're doing a few shows. Obviously, not about All In just yet, but we did the Smack Attack. But once we finished the Smack Attack, right, I kid you not, it was about 3:30 my time, a.m. Mm-hmm. All In pre-show started right after that. I didn't stop watching All In until after 11 a.m. my time. So that's just way too long, Tony.
The 90-minute 0 hour?
Yeah, I mean, how long did it go for about that?
Probably even the 0 hour pre-show gets a 30-minute overrun.
Man, ridiculous. I mean, Rick, don't you think it's just too much?
Well,
and too long?
TK has been known for those marathons. One thing you cannot accuse the guy of is shortchanging you. Well, you're getting bang. You're getting your money's worth wholeheartedly. As we said there. We start recording at 11. They go live at 1 p.m. Eastern. They don't about 8:30. So we're at like 9.5 hours for that event. I will say a hat tip. My heart goes out to those individuals that were in that stadium for that long. Hey, they kept the energy up. There were a couple times you could tell where they pulled back. They relaxed a little bit on something they weren't hot on, but they revved back up. It was a hot crowd the entire time. For All In, another hat tip to Tony Khan and his crew production. Probably the best I've seen from them. The place looked magnificent, especially for that size. And there were some concerns where you have to hide some areas. The tarpon emplorum wasn't obvious to everybody there. Great camera shots, great production. They did a hell of a job. They've been in the right direction. Hopefully this is just another major stepping stone. Great job all week from AEW. The go home really had me enticed, intrigued, and excited for what they were going to present in Texas.
Well, before we do put on our sifting gloves, guys, we should get into the news because it seems that Seth Rollins is legitimately injured. Vet, I don't know if you watched Saturday night's main event. You did it? Okay. Do you care about any spoilers on what happened when it comes to that?
I don't personally care. I don't know if any of the, if anybody hasn't watched it yet, but I mean, I know that LA Knight picked up the victory. So I don't know if that was a last minute change based on something, or is this one of those times where they say he's injured and it's a worked injury and we're supposed to go along with this crap?
Well, funny you bring that up because initially I thought it was a shoot at first, but then Rick goes, nah, that's a work. And he convinced me. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. What am I thinking, right? It was a work for sure. And I thought that too. But then once we got to the main event and we saw clearly there was 30 minutes until the end, right, to go, right? Goldberg ain't doing no 20-minute barn burner against friggin' Gunther. There's no way they would be expecting him, in my opinion, to be out there for that long. You know what I mean?
So,
and I felt like even the way it ended. Yeah.
Well, just real quick, before you continue. So does that the match went short with Seth Rollins?
No.
We don't know. We have nobody knows. It's speculation at this
point.
But
you can tell that with WWE television production, they always have like at least 15 minutes per match. So if it was like something like 5 minutes, but if maybe something happened at the end, I don't know. I guess I would have to have seen it.
It was closer to the end, and you could tell maybe after he comes off that rope, he's trying to do a catapult in, hits the rope wrong. Lands real weird. You can see it just buckles on him. He's able to make it to the corner. They go right into a finish there.
It was abrupt too, to be fair.
You could tell later on they had to make up some time because it was weird with like 6 minutes to go until the hard cut. They go to a commercial. So they're scrambling. So the thought process was it's a work because, you've got the Oracle there, the mastermind. They're going to play possum here. Oh, he's hurt. He's out. We're not going to see a cash in here. Then you have that potential there. You got to believe it was in the plan to at least tease some kind of cash in there. So they have to call an audible real quick in that main event because you could tell things were really awkward at the end of that show.
100%. You could tell there was something off. Even with the Seth Rollins match, there was something off with the finish.
The chat over here, talking about 60 years old, he looked phenomenal.
Absolutely.
I've seen some of the profile pictures from the people in the chat. Believe me, you guys are not going to be looking like Goldberg did at 60 years old. In either case, for him to go out there, pull that pace, even with the slower pacing, to go 20 minutes for them, the old dog hat tip to the old dog there, and to Gunther, a true ring general. You could tell, he was out there calling some stuff, and to carry that thing to get them to the end of that show. They limped to the finish line, but they got there.
The ring general is a shoot.
Oh, for
sure. That's a shoot that became a catchphrase and a marketing thing, but it started as a shoot.
Yeah. So
he really lived up to it too, man.
That you can speak to in all the experience you've had, and it's a panic mode when something like that happens on a show, especially on that level. You're on national broadcast, you're on free television, network television, big show, big event there in Atlanta. Boom, you got to stay liquid, call that on the fly, man. And it's right there, a big spot for you at the end of that show.
This is why we were trained to be over-prepared. I'm sure you've heard Ben say that 1,000 times, right? Like Rip said, I'm going to have you motherfuckers over-prepared for this shit. So overqualified so that if anything happens, whatever. Problem is, we're a generation out from that. So now we have a generation that's not qualified. They're about qualified-ish. They're not overqualified. So most of them are guys like Seth Rollins are good enough they can handle that. Guys like with Walter, it doesn't even goes without saying. Of course he can handle it. But here's the other thing too. You have to remember all these people in all these positions in the production side. This is just, things go wrong all the time. Nobody should be caught with their pants down if something has to go short a few minutes. This is not like there shouldn't be a panic mode. This should be a day at the office for the production people, right? So it really comes down to the talent, whether they're going to panic or not, if they can't, just switch up a few things on the fly. So again, with people like Walter, it's not a problem. So if anything seemed awkward, that's kind of on maybe some of these people that maybe they're just not used to this kind of stuff. But I feel like WWE live programming for so many years, that should have everybody trained to be, there's no excuse why any of this shit should just fly off the rails. Not that it did, but just people as seasoned as you guys can just tell when things aren't clockwork smooth, right?
Well, I think what the case where it maybe was that panic. You talk about the lessons that we learned from you, from Ben. For me personally, getting to work front line with Beast. He would always talk about that. Rick, we got to have a plan B and C on something. We'll probably never use these things, but let's be ready with them, just in case something at the show would go awry. If you're out there, even on the smallest indie level where I was at, it never goes as planned. Everything up to it, you're going to have at least 5 things, wrenches thrown into the machine. as you're trying to get through a show. And I think, and Jimmy, that weird commercial break, and you had pointed this out off air after we had stopped recording, but we got to let's get a nice happy finish, nice shot here. So they had a post-show celebration planned for Goldberg. I think that commercial break was just to get everybody moving towards the ring quicker, because 100%. They had a bunch of the legends come out, the family come out. That you had like DDP, Doug Dillinger was there, the Cat was there. So I think it was just an opportunity for them to get everybody into the ring to push that forward.
Now I have a question, because I watched the last match. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the show, Goldberg's in his speech, and then it just ends. So I'm like, wait a minute. If we're short, why are we losing the speech? What happened? At some point you went over.
I think that speech was meant to be for when the camera stopped rolling.
Yeah, that wasn't meant to be forced at all. They just wanted some kind of good feel moment to cut the fade to black for that hard out at 10 p.m.
I see. Okay.
That's what it came across for us anyway, I think. And it makes the most sense, man. So for whatever reason, we caught that little bit, but they should have just stayed with it in the end, right?
WWE, they want to dangle that bait out there. They want to tease you, baby. They want to fluff you up for that social media hits. So anyone that's going to be tuned in is going to be interested to go find that on social media. WWE has been all over social media with that show last night. Which ironically, I kind of had in my notes as I was looking through the review and trying to get some notes together. I'm a little let down by AEW's social media presence this morning. They had a fantastic show. They've had a couple highlight videos out there, some of the stuff from the scrum afterwards, but like the highlights aren't doing some of those payoffs there. They're just like teaser clips. You've already got everybody's money. Now let's get everybody else that missed out talking about this, and start steamrolling there.
Yeah.
Well, that's AEW for you, man. They always miss out on opportunities like that.
I'm trying to stay as positive with them because they did a hell of a job.
They did. We'll give them that, and we'll get to that soon. And speaking with AEW and news, Adam Cole apparently is legitimately injured. Now, I don't know what exactly is wrong with him, Vet. I don't know if it's a concussion issue, a neck issue, a back issue. But let's be honest, Vet.
All the above.
Yeah, all the above. He hasn't actually been looking very healthy over the last few months. And now I feel like, and I hate to say it for his sake, I think he's done. And it's not because of his speech. I was saying that before his speech to Rick. I think he's absolutely done. And unfortunately, what could be the real issue with him? Is it a lot more serious that we don't even know of yet?
You asking me? I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Okay, but last night during All In, the TNT Championship, he was supposed to have the bout there with Fletcher, correct? So we get word during the 0 hour going in that match has been scrapped. That unfortunately, due to injury not being cleared, that Cole is going to have to vacate the TNT Championship. So we're going to now have a fatal 4-way at All In to determine a new champion. So you had the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, Fletcher also having an opportunity there. And then who's the dancing guy? I can't think of his damn name right now.
Good old main event, Daniel Garcia?
Yes, Garcia is in there as well. So they square off at a 4-way. We'll talk about that when we get to that on the card. Awesome moment there at the end, actually. But Cole out giving a very emotional speech there that for the time being, this is very, very serious. Might be career ending for him. He gives us one last baby and exits there. So my initial take there is, man, and I know the internet is coming at the guy. He has been a target of a lot of social media criticism over his physique, maybe not hitting the gym as much, maybe a little too many video game evenings instead of the workout routine.
He's had this body for like 20 years.
I understand. I get you on that. I don't think that's the issue here. That guy has punched enough holes on a bump card for 3 careers, and he's got out there and done it, man. And you hate to see anybody have to hang it up like this. Obviously, a great deal of passion and love for the sport of professional.
And he was sobbing, man. Sobbing. Like he really couldn't hold it together.
Did you guys maybe see something like this? He has been pulling back a little bit, and it seems that they've been transitioning him more. He's been doing a lot of commentary over the last couple of months.
Well, I don't know about that, but like I just wanted to review my notes real quick because I mean he was on collision.
They said
in
it
a
was,
match.
they
He
said it was
finished the
from an
match. He won
injury.
the match.
They wrote that into the story saying it was an injury from Thursday.
Yeah, so like he went out in that match on top over Rocky Romero. So if he was injured during that match at some point, he finished the match there. So I would have to go back and rewatch with an eagle eye to find out if and when that was the point that he got injured, unless it could have been something else that happened. Maybe he just went to get a checkup and, like just a quick, medical checkup or something. And maybe they found something that has nothing to do with wrestling, God forbid. So
that's what I get a feeling of, man. Which is
I'm not
sort of scaring me.
Yeah. I mean, if he walks out on his own power, like the day before, a couple days before he comes out for this sad speech, then I assume he was fine leaving the building that night. But, I don't know, dude. I'm not going to write off anybody's career yet. It's wrestling, dude. Everybody comes back. So we're talking about Goldberg, for Christ's sake.
I know, it's crazy. That's when you put it like that.
There was a bit of a pop out there. Britt Baker takes to social media and she just does baby broken heart, and immediately people are like, you cheated on him, bitch.
Oh, God, I saw that and that made me sick. And like we were talking about in the Smack Attack, fans they were piling on it. Some wrestling fans, and just in general, in all of sports and entertainment in general, we were talking about this on the Smack Attack, are whack jobs, bro. They're just all sickos. I don't understand people how they get like some sort of satisfaction at saying shit like that. It's just wrong, man.
Carnage, queers, and addicts applies to the fans too.
Yeah, well, it's just weirdos, man. Stop being weird, IWC, please. God damn. It's a woman, for crying out loud. Anyway.
They're only there to be weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, what else news we got?
Well, in other news, let's see. There's not really much going on other than, post-match
22
crap.
hours of wrestling, and 14 of it we need to talk about.
Yeah,
look, all the news is right here in the shows we got to talk about. Huh?
Exactly. So that's all your main news, really, man. I'm not going to bother getting into last week's news, but everything else is not really worthy.
Okie doke. Well, should we sift then?
Let's sift. Let's put the gloves on and start sifting. I've got gloves.
Ooh, man, I puckered up there for a second. Damn.
Ready for yeah. Ooh, hey, what do we got here? Yeah, you're definitely gonna feel it in your colon this one. Not just because Kenny Omega had a match this week, but so we're Dynamite 301. This is the 301st Dynamite, guys. You ready to celebrate? Let's get another cake out here. We're starting off the show with the final face-to-face between Moné and Toni. Okay?
Moné and Toni. Ooh.
And they said a bunch of stuff, but guess what, guys? Just me personally, and I would have had muffins today. I'm more concerned with my figure than entertaining the people right now. So I didn't buy the muffins, but I need them. So if you got muffin emojis in the chat, please give me. But this whole thing made no sense to me. Reason why, we've already seen these girls scrap like 10 times. So like, why do I care if you come out here and just talk to each other now? You don't do it like this. Is the problem when you hot shot. When you hot shot, you run out of stuff and then you got to tread water for however long. And that's exactly it. You don't, I'm a big fan of no physicality. Like if I was, if Ali and Frazier got into 20 street fights before they had their first title match, why do I care if they lace up gloves now and follow rules? It just doesn't excite me. So to have these girls constantly jumping each other, attacking each other, just calling each other bitch, eating steaks, all this stuff, and then you just come out here and calmly talk to each other with wrestling promos, doesn't work for me. Did it work for either of you guys? Rick, you first.
Absolutely not. You got it completely. You're right, but they've got it completely backwards. And they're hoping for this go home just to hit some big buzz phrases, have Toni go out there and drop some vulgar insults. If anything going in, I thought it made Mercedes look weaker because it just obviously showed a flaw that she could not, hang in that arena with Toni. But again, Why aren't we starting with the verbalization and building towards the physicality? For a big match like this that's billed as one of your 3 main events, we shouldn't have had any contact out of these 2, especially when the other 2 were repeat matches. This is one of those you can dub as that first time, and you're eager to see what's going to happen when that bell rings and we do get to the fisticuffs.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing about AEW, Rick, and as you already figured that out, they do things backwards, man. They literally, they're backwards. I don't understand why, and it's not a dig on AEW.
I think it's like that saying, though, Tony just gets so excited to get to the physical stuff, and then when he's still got, 2 weeks to go, or 3 or 4 programs to go, he's like, shit, he's back. He's booked himself into a corner.
Yeah, WWE does it too. Basically, every wrestling company does this. And so not only does every wrestling company have somebody jumping somebody else that they're going to have a normal wrestling match with rules later, but even on this, this program, how many of these angles involve people just getting jumped or a post-match beating, or, that we have to play somebody's music so they come out and save. It's just the same repetitive shit over and over and over. And that's why you have to be more careful about this stuff in this day and age for the exact reason of what we're talking about. We've called out the fact that you have 20 some hours of content this week. You don't have to burn through all of it every single segment. You have to save some for later. We're going to be eating it. So we can't, we can't have 3 meals a day every meal.
That opening segment, I just zoned out. And the only thing I can think about in that red cowboy outfit is that Mercedes Moné is just a post-op Cowboy Curtis from the Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse.
Ooh, Cowboy Curtis. Ooh.
He just went zing.
Put them side by side. The hair, the get up, it all looks the same.
It's just a fat one too, right, Rick? I'm just.
So. Next is your standard cinematic Jon Moxley short film that I guess he would call a promo. Jimmy, did this do anything for you other than the other dozen times?
Yeah, I've seen this already a million times. What's new that he says that we haven't heard already?
I don't know. I thought it was a good point that somebody brought up, maybe it was Cornette or somebody, just saying how Jon Moxley's talking about Hangman doesn't want it bad enough, and it's like, didn't he burn a guy's house down?
He did. Not only did he burn
what
the
do you
house
think
down.
What do you think is soft about a guy? I mean, aside from his pants, what do you think is soft about whatever? Never mind. Just
sure he drives a Prius, but he's also an arsonist.
A Prius.
I mean, his Prius has horns on it. That's pretty badass, right? I don't know. Speaking of driving badass vehicles, here comes the founding fathers with that limo with the shitty decals on it still. I wonder if something's going to happen to that. And then we get Team Mask, Bandit and Ski versus Proto Sheeta, which is a terrible name for a team, because normally you guys are used to me making up tag team names for people by combining words, but Proto Sheeta is actually what they have on the screen when Takeshita and Fletcher come out together. So who's buying that shirt? I want to see it. Tag me in all the social media posts you find of people proudly wearing the Proto Sheeta shirt.
So dumb.
Anyways, so Takeshita hits the Raging Fire on Bandito, who just so happens to be the Ring of Honor champion. I guess that automatically makes him the number 1 contender for the Ring of Honor championship. I guess they also had Ring of Honor whatever final card of honor or something on Friday night. Did anything come of that? Is Bandito, did he make it out the champ?
Yes,
he became champion. Yeah,
he is still champion.
Whew, my goodness.
Yes,
he's
you can relax.
Right.
You can breathe easy. Bandito.
No deportation. Okay, got it. He's safe. He's got it. That's as good as a green card.
He's
having a belt.
Working visa. Hold on to that one. I like that. Hold on to that one. That's
wasn't it Death Before Dishonor Mexico or some shit?
$275,000 for a car.
It was Death Before Dishonor Mexico.
What, Jimmy? What are you trying to say about Mexico?
Oh, no,
sorry, we're dumb. We're trying to do Dumb and Dumber quotes, Jimmy. What is it that you want?
I was just trying to say that the Ring of Honor freaking show, was Death Before Dishonor Mexico.
Was it? Okay.
It was. I don't. It was Super Card of Honor Friday. So
yeah,
all
whatever.
Right.
It was. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess results for that can come up as necessary here.
You can't come in or come on her.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
All right. Outrunners cut a promo. Basically, the gist is this isn't over. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
Then Renee is with FTRky. Are they, are they friends or what? I'm not sure. Like Christian's very, coy about everything he's doing. So
we'll get to that when the time comes.
Yeah. Can they coexist? Can the heels coexist? All right. Next is Ricochet versus Blake Christian, who gets the box promo on the way.
I kind of like it, the old school,
the Saturday night's main event,
right? I like it. I do like it, except for the Blake Christian part. So
yes,
the Gates of Agony.
In theory, it works. It's just the product inside the box.
Gates of Agony walk out, and after way too much stupid shit of Blake Christian getting shit in on the fucking Gates of Agony of all people, Ricochet hits Vertigo and wins. So I guess as Ricochet poses with the Gates of Agony, even though Bishop Khan kind of didn't want to do the pose, it looked like. But I think Ricochet has found a couple of solid crew members to start his pirate crew. Rick, are you happy to see the Gates of Agony do something, or you didn't care?
I think those guys are a group. Every time I look at it's like immediately like these are some badass looking dudes, but then you remember of how they've been used, where they're at. Hopefully they can maybe do something of significance to build them back up. Those are the types of guys I would like to be seriously invested in and see working real programs like against the Hurt Syndicate. That's going to sell shit for me.
Right. They already worked the Hurt Syndicate and just got jobbed.
I know. It was a real quick, in and out. I know they got beat up on it. So can you go back and try to reimagine that, or is it wasted?
Yes. No, you can. You can, especially if you just tell the story, Jimmy, that Ricochet has refocused their efforts, then that's as good as new, right?
And I'm glad to actually say that we do see him again later on when we get to it. And I kind of like their look right now. They look meaner, dude. Like I actually feel like they look like a real legit team this time round.
Yeah,
but like you guys were saying, they've got way more of a purpose even now because we do get to see him at All In a bit later. But like I said, we'll get to that later on. But I think they've got so much potential, and hopefully they do use them right because I'm a fan of theirs.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that looks at them should be. So next is Renee and the Hurt Syndicate and, yada, yada, yada. But the main point is that the tag belts apparently were stolen. We're doing that gimmick. We're writing on the whiteboard, hey, stole your belts. See ya.
You still left a note.
That was nice. Yeah, dry erase boards. We don't use those enough in wrestling. So next is, I seem to have lost my place here. We get a package on Kenny and Okada, just in case you've been living under a rock for the past 7 years. Okay, now, here we get to the talkie talk. Now, when you tell me MJF and Mark Briscoe, two of the best talkers of all time, are going to have a talkie talk, I was hoping for a little bit better than this, but
really,
I'll just have to take it. Yeah, I mean, not that anything they did was bad or wrong. It's just like, I guess I just got my hopes up a little bit too much because it was like the bare minimum what we could have got.
Okay, interesting take there. So
that is very interesting, actually.
What would you like to see that on if you're helping them out there, agenting the segment there? But where do you think it could add a little more power to it?
It's not like, it would have to be something like very, very specific. It's not like I have like a, oh yeah, it should have been in general, it should have been this, but just like what they actually were saying. They even just the way Mark Briscoe said, Max, I already know what you're going to say. You're going to talk about my brother. Like, okay, he did. And then he did. And then you still like it just, what he even said was like, I don't know if Mark wasn't already mad, I don't know that would have made him mad That was like the softest way you could go. He didn't actually say anything bad about Jay Briscoe.
I
So
know what you're saying. I know what
he
you
could, like, we've seen MJF get way more disrespectful. And I know that the real guy, sorry to ruin everything, but I know the real guy is way more respectful than to want to do something like that. I certainly wouldn't want to go on TV and say anything bad about Jay, even as a work. Because the moment I say something legit, like disrespectful, even in a working way about Jay Briscoe, then I know Mark is going to be on top of me throwing the phoniest punches that ever existed. So it's like, if it can't be all the way real, I don't want to go there. That's what I'm always telling Ben Hamin, because Ben wants to always take it to the most real shit. And I'm like, but wrestling is so fake and lame that you can't, all you do by making it real is make it in bad taste. So that's why things like this are just such a delicate balancing act. And I don't think anybody really gets satisfied by it. That's just how I feel about it. But Rick, tell me how you felt, because I know you kind of put it over, and Jimmy, I want to hear what you think too afterwards.
I inside of itself, I thought it was a little slow moving. I do agree with you now, listening to you lay it out there. That's why I love talking with you guys. Maybe a little bit more intensity, go a little more shoot style into it, especially in MJ up, like, dude, just freaking lay into me here. Up that intensity. The pickle stuff threw me off. It's been throwing me off as well, a little too, pro wrestling, tickle your balls, true. Grab assy kind of stuff that takes me out of the moment when we should be like uber serious about this. But inside that, it was one of those things that we know we're going to get there. I think when those two are going to have that talky talk, we know it's going to come up. Something about Jay is going to be mentioned. How do they get there, though? To me, it worked. They didn't go immediately at Jay talking shit about him. It was more a personal attack on Mark himself. That he has always been the lesser of the talents. As good as he is, he'll never be up to that level. That he hasn't had those achievements. But you're right there, that should have lit a much angrier, fierce fire under his ass than what we got.
You asked like what I would have done, right? And it kind of like was clicking as you're saying it there. It's just like what he didn't do was he just didn't go right at Mark and say the obvious thing that everybody's thinking. It's like, yeah, your brother's one of the greatest, and you're out here losing every week. Like you specifically call out the fact that Mark almost never wins matches, and like what kind of you're not upholding your half of the legacy here. Like that's the easiest way, and MJF can say that in 100 different creative ways and insulting ways to just say what we're all seeing. It's in front of our face. Mark is losing matches, right? They only decide to give him a win when it's convenient for like an angle like this, right? And every other time he's on his back. So it's like MJF only needs to say that, and he can say that in a way that is extremely,
This could have been the catalyst to give us a more driven, determined Mark Briscoe to get a bit more serious on that side. But inside of the segment itself, watching it, I'm on the edge of my seat, and I'm just thinking Dewey Cox. Say it, say it. Wrong kid died. It took him a while to get there, but it did. Like, oh yeah, and it was more. It was not so much the pop for in the moment of those two having the exchange is kind of just the smark in me about what it was going to do to the smarks online having a fit that they actually said something like that.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Well, what's the sad part about it now that I think back on it. First of all, for me, and before I mentioned why I said that, I think Mark Briscoe really took the way he delivered his promo. Yeah, he could have been more serious, but I think he looks at MJF kind of like that's cute type of deal without really getting too angry. He's just sort of looking down. It's like, Max, you just have no idea type of thing, right? If you know what I mean. That's how I took it, right? But in saying that, once we got to when they faced each other at All In, though, then forget this whole promo because it didn't mean shit.
Okay.
Because they didn't deliver on when they saw each other. They should have actually been killing each other. You know what I mean? So now, looking back at that promo, it kind of feels very irrelevant because of what you see later on. That's the sad part. But I still enjoyed the promo though. But you're right, Vet. 100%. That's what makes you the best in the world because You break down those little things that we don't catch. And when you put it like that, it makes me think differently. And it's like, God damn it. But in the end, I felt like now this was all for nothing. Unless we're building to something between these two, why bother?
Well, maybe we are. And yeah, like I still like what they did, but I'm always thinking but it was that close. Like if something sucks, there's no point in talking about it. The 100%. Fact that we've spent this much time on it, it's like it's the fine tuning that makes you go, oh, if only. And just like Todd says, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm using my a la carte method. You're right, Todd. I am. But I'm also just saying, like, it would have been even better. So it's like you always got to do the a la carte. Now, there will be something else I'll mention later. Yeah, John Enright's in the house. What's up, John?
After a little
he said, what's up? He said, what's up, bitches, John Enright's something of a bitch himself, so we're all bitches here.
He's total bitch mode now. He got a little snippy snip this week.
What?
Oh.
He got the snippy snip?
Yeah.
You motherfucking bitch, John.
He got that snippy snip.
think pretty highly of yourself, don't you, pal? So anyway, but furthermore, besides everything else that we said about the Briscoe and MJF talk, you tacked a little business onto the end of this that had nothing to do with MJF and Mark Briscoe, only tangentially, where, Jet Speed comes down to attack the Hurt Business once they start, assaulting Mark Briscoe. So they come out there, and then after the Jet Speed takes out the Hurt Syndicate, yeah, you heard me, that happened. After that, then here come the patriarchy to sort of pick the bones, and
a bunch of hyenas.
The fact that Kip Sabian even got to physically lay hands on Bobby Lashley, that's the greatest moment of his fucking career. Just touching Bobby Lashley's an honor for Kip Sabian. But yeah, that happened. So there you go. So now the Hurt Syndicate is in the underdog spot. Oh my God, can they retain the title at All In? All right, we'll see.
Yeah,
Kip Sabian, him working this program, getting with the Hurt Syndicate, those 8x10s are going to be keeping his lights on for the next 10 to 15 years at the conventions.
You know what? You're actually right. That probably will.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. RJ City and Renee pitch DraftKings. That's not that important. Then we get a four-way ladies match.
Oh yeah, pal.
Megan Bain, Tekla, Queen Aminata, and Ty Mello. Anna and Penelope are on the outside supporting their respective partners, and they themselves kind of look like a tag team, like Team Yoga Pants or something of that nature. They looked very dressed similarly there. Maybe something in the future if they ever want to. But they fight each other, and while they're doing that, Megan Bain hits the Megan Bomb on the Queen, I think.
Yeah. It's a blood feud now between them two.
Damn.
We'll see later on.
No, you're thinking of Spider Girl.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was right.
Anyway, the stipulation of this was the number 2 spot into the women's gauntlet match.
That's right. Which, as we know, because of the nature of this gauntlet match, it can actually end before everybody gets in. So having an early number is better, whereas usually it's not. So that's people shit on AEW booking, but that's a nice little twist, I think. It doesn't really matter, but it's cool.
It's different. Right.
I like that gimmick match.
Yeah. So Renee is interviewing Tekla, but before she can actually say anything, the babyface Queen Aminata jumps her, and then security drags them off. And then Mark Briscoe runs in and cuts a very spastic, promo, Max, you did exactly what I wanted you to do, all that. So that was great. Great, but also a little comedic, but whatever. It's fine. Mark Briscoe, a la carte, fine. Samoa Joe versus Wheeler Yuta. This takes 8 minutes. It's about 6 minutes too long, probably, but that's whatever. Death Riders run in, the Ops run in. It's going to be a schmaz. It's just
it gets worse, man. It gets worse.
Well, we're going to go right into an All-Star 8-man with Hobbs and
match.
Shibata, who get to just hang out after they ran in. And they are joined by Ospreay and Hangperson. And then the opponents are the Bucks and Mox and Claudio. Now, guys, I'm going to sort of I'll ask you guys for your thoughts now, because I'm afraid this is where the muffins would come in. Jimmy, you first. Any thoughts on the end of this show? It's okay. It's okay if you don't. That's fine. You can always pass. Okay, pass.
You know how I feel about these type of matches, Vet. I'm sick of even saying it again. So yeah,
you were probably thinking it was Collision, right?
Yeah, but it's not. That's the problem.
It's either an 8-man or Daniel Garcia in the main event if it's Collision. So, what about you, Rick?
Yeah. Overall for Dynamite this week, as we are on that go home, they're making some last minute selling points to get you excited, get you hyped for the big Texas show. I applaud their efforts, man. I was intrigued. I was ready to go that next night, Thursday, for Collision, and just kind of had that boulder rolling. It was steamrolling for me, so I enjoyed it.
All right. Well, so Shibata got choked out in this match, but that doesn't even matter, even though it shouldn't have happened. And the reason it shouldn't have happened is because all of this bullshit that's about to happen was going to happen. So why did you need a finish in this match? Why do you need to beat anybody? Yeah, just have everybody jump in and start schmozzing. You already had several schmozzes. Let's get another schmoz in. It's a schmoz fest. But so anyways, long story short, after the schmoz fest, the sore winners have got Ospreay and Hangperson hostage, and they each have a nice shiny plastic bag ready to kill them with. Okay, so we're still doing this, right? Okay, but then Swerve is on the screen, sitting in some vehicle, a backhoe. We don't know that yet, but that's what we see. We definitely had some sort of construction equipment from the tight shot on Swerve here, being broadcast live from the parking lot. And everybody sits there and watches him calmly talking to the camera from his spot in the backhoe. As they're just stunned by the sight of Swerve, all the way outside the building, can't put the plastic bags in murder now. We got to listen to this guy's, calm, slow promo. So then he gives his speech, which is probably like a couple of minutes long. And then they all just watch as he takes the backhoe, crushes the limousine that the Bucks came in on with their shitty decals, crushes it with the backhoe repeatedly, picks it up, crushes it again, picks it up, crushes it again, flips it over. At this point, I'm watching it, like making my notes live. Like I just write down so bad. And then Paige is like, after they, break free and start fighting back or whatever, and Paige comes face to face with Mox, and he just stares at him. Like Adam Page is just standing there staring at Jon Moxley after he was about to kill him. Don't forget, he had a plastic bag and he was going to kill Adam Page. And when Adam Page finally gets free of all this mess surrounding them, he stares at him with a bug-eyed thing that he always does, instead of just launching into violence. Remember, this is the guy that brought a cafeteria fork with him the other week and stuck it in his jacket pocket and could barely get it out. He's a fucking moron. So he just stares at Paige while the Bucks are out there like selling the limo. Like they're just go out there like, oh my God, our limo. There's glass everywhere. He literally says there's glass everywhere. And, so like my first thing is like John McClane from Die Hard. Glass? Who gives a shit about glass? And then Swerve, from another smaller thing, probably like a forklift, jumps and does his fake stomp on both of them while they're standing and takes an awkward bump on the pavement. This, people have given AEW a lot of shit over the years. The, famously Dark Order punches, like all these different historical things, the exploding ring. There's been a lot of not so hot moments for AEW. This was one of the worst 20 minutes of television I have ever seen on a wrestling show. They should absolutely, everyone involved in this should be absolutely ashamed to have even been in the building. Everybody on the roster, remember Kip Sabian who got to touch Bobby Lashley? He should have second and third hand embarrassment for being in the same building as this bullshit. This is the worst thing AEW's ever done by like a country mile. And that's just because it went so fucking long. Like, I couldn't believe how bad and long it was and how long it was bad. Like, it's insane how bad this was. And nobody would act like this. You know, so like, and even in a world where we all know wrestling's phony, this is some of the phoniest stuff I've ever seen. So, way to take it home on Dynamite.
This is the definition of the wreckage, literally. That was a friggin' train wreck. It's like,
well, yeah. Well, I mean, and we even got a wrecked car.
And we got a wreckage, right? That's why I'm saying that. That's why this show is called the wreckage.
The only thing they did right was crush the limo. But he didn't flip it. Like, it just got like halfway over and like stopped there.
And yeah, and why were they staring at each other, like, for crying out loud? Like you said, man, this should have been absolute, like, you don't even think, you just attack. You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, I don't know, is it drama? Is that what they're trying to, like, capture? What is it?
Well, this was on TBS. It's TNT.
True, it's not drama. TNT.
TBS is very funny.
Wow. In that case, it wasn't funny. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
Well, it was funny in the wrong, like, I would have laughed at it if I weren't so pissed.
Well, there you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, this is just garbage.
And I had all week to get over it, and I fired myself up again.
Well, that's all right. You'll get fired up again once we get into All In because it gets better. But Rick,
well, at least I didn't have to watch that, so I don't know.
Believe me, it gets pretty crazy actually when you think about it. What happens later on should have happened here, if anything. But Rick, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Jimmy, we're in a business of talking in sound bites, and when there's a hot one like that, you just move on.
Nice.
Rick knows the business.
That's it.
And the answer to your question, Todd, is yes. Yes. So, Collision. This couldn't be worse. There's no way. No matter what they do on this show.
I will say one immediate positive about Collision. I really enjoy when we get the back-to-back nights of AEW. I think that should be they're kind of get that, if they can work that in, try to get that as the program schedule.
We're getting used to that now too, funny enough. So you might as well.
I know it's going to be some difficulties when we run into contracts, especially with Major League Baseball postseason. When you get back around to it with the NHL, I guess the NBA won't be an issue going forward anymore.
Well,
but that did
TNT.
Things.
But it's always going to be an issue if you have your events on the weekends. So you might as well have it on a Thursday, because at least you're not going to compete with another wrestling TNA. So,
hey, they're out there shopping.
Yeah, they're shopping. Ooh, right. Man. Wait, whoever lands that big fish is going to be eaten. Speaking of eating, it ain't going to be in this match. It's RPG of Fletcher versus the Paragon. This is the match that possibly Adam Cole got hurt in, but it doesn't seem like it because Fletcher kicks out of the Panama Sunrise. Okay, that's fine. But he's going to beat Adam Cole's going to beat Rocky Romero with his boom knee thing. So if, like, just wrestling psychology as a wrestler, if we're putting this match together, if the finish is I go over on Rocky with my finish, I'm not even going to waste my secondary move on you to kick out of. I'll either beat Rocky with the sunrise or I just won't do a sunrise that night. I'm not going to let you kick out of the sunrise and then beat the guy with something else if I'm going over. So dumb, but whatever.
Out the window.
Yeah, and apart from all the other issues, that's why I don't like Adam Cole matches or him as a wrestler. Because personally, everybody says he's a nice guy. I have no reason to doubt he's a nice guy. I'm sure Adam Cole's a wonderful man who absolutely does not get the business. He refuses to be his size. And for a guy that's known for talking, I don't think he's that good. So, I mean, I just heard myself cut a promo better than anything Adam Cole's ever said a few minutes ago. So I don't see why, not to put myself over, but like, I just don't, the one thing he's known for, I don't even think he's top 20. So, but that's beside the point. I don't want to pile on if things are bad for Adam Cole, but I'm just saying, like, this match is just yet the latest example of, if I'm just watching this and I don't know if he's got some life-threatening condition right now, and I'm just watching this match, I'm like, fuck you, Adam Cole. So I apologize now, but I wish him the best. I hope he's fine. hope he'll be back to piss me off later. But
Yeah, I hope you're right though as well, man.
Any thoughts on this 6-man though? Anything?
No, especially in the end, it's irrelevant this match again because of what happens later on. But yeah, I hope there is nothing wrong with him that we're not aware of. That's what worries me about him. Because say what you want about Adam Cole, like you just said, Vet. I'm sure he's a great human being, man.
Yeah, I want him to have a nice long video game streaming career on Twitch and YouTube.
I don't know. A great
human being, but apparently not a fulfilling lover.
Well, maybe love's in the air again, but it looks at things possibly.
All right. Well, exclusive post Dynamite footage. It's a cinematic Moxley promo. So wait, you captured this fully produced promo with music? It had music this time. It was like submit this to the Academy for consideration, submit it to the Cannes Film Festival, let everybody know you made this movie, John.
What threw me off about this is obviously the delivery, what we get, because they're hyping us. We've got this footage here. If it's that hot, I mean, and Toni is supposedly this old school classic wrestling fan. And, as we saw at the end of Dynamite there, they tell me you watched the Attitude Era, but you didn't understand it kind of finish that we saw. Like, why aren't we leading in with that? Is we got this hot open, this footage that we caught post Dynamite to kick off Collision in the hottest fashion you possibly can. Then you start rolling on that final build. You're on the home stretch towards All In Texas.
True, man. Yeah, Matthew Rodriguez in the chat wants to know, and he goes on to say, do you think Eddie Kingston was the perfect man to return in Texas with Bryan and Darby as the final surprises that leads to Mox losing?
Should we answer that now, or should we say stay tuned?
Stay tuned, actually.
We got exclusive footage of our answers coming up later in the show.
Yeah. Stay tuned, Matt.
We're going to show it on next week's Wreckage, though. So tune in next week to see
Same Wreckage time, same Wreckage channel.
Yes, that's right. Can you make it next week too, Rick? All right. So, new segment we haven't seen in a long time, actually, I think. Technique by Taz, where he explains the Místico armbar, which I believe is called La Mística.
Well, it is La Mística.
And where Taz takes his long way around to say, hey, when he pulls back on your arm, it's going to hurt your arm, brother.
Hey, brother. Yeah, it's true. I don't remember Taz's techniques, though, in the past, to be fair.
Long time, if years ago. Okay. It was like back when he had his own faction with his son in it, and and Hobbs and shit. Yeah. And Ricky Starks.
Shit, you're right. Ricky Starks, true.
Kind of, that Stevie Richards show is pretty good. Didn't Taz used to do something like that? Let's get it on television. But
yeah,
I kind of like where they're going with that, because like from in football, I always love like when Coach Gruden would sit down with the quarterback and look at some tape.
Gruden's grinders.
Like yeah, I enjoy it. So that kind of an aspect. But can we use that vet for like a platform like this or something like Stevie's doing to actually educate an audience on how things should work, like in a kayfabe sense?
In a kayfabe sense, sure. And I've seen people dabble with that throughout the decades. Like they'll do something like that and then they'll just drop it. So I don't know what makes them drop it. I don't know if I don't think it's like real-time feedback that's saying, well, this sucks, we don't want to see it. I just think they just get lazy and don't want to do it for whatever reason.
It seems like something so easy to produce. And as we're, you're doing the same old stuff, overrun on matches. This is some nice filler though. They can actually educate an audience for what you're trying to achieve with some sort of thing. And it helps. And without the physicality or running some out there to, get some stamps on their bump card, you're putting them over.
Mm-hmm.
See, I would love if someone did what Corny used to do back in '97.
Where he just went on there and bitched about everything.
Yeah, I kind of like that though, because he wasn't really kayfabing it. He was being real.
That's what podcasts are for now, Jimmy.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was ahead of his time, right? When you think about it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and I wonder whatever happened to him. So,
I wonder.
So, okay, Harley is doing an I Drink ad. I just thought I'd point that out.
Is she injured?
Probably. She.
Okay.
She's wearing the mask, so
they kind of just like. Okay,
which for the record, there was For the record, she was written off and she got a gimmick injury that Disco Inferno couldn't see through. So maybe his nose was in the way. So Skyflight gets a vignette.
Ooh.
You like Skyflight?
What a stupid name.
Do you like
Speed,
the group?
Jet, Skyflight.
Jet skis, sky flights.
All right. Well, in this particular incarnation, Jimmy, of Scorpio Sky, Top Flight,
makes sense.
and Christopher Daniels, do you like this group as a group?
And Gray.
Or is
and
it
Gray
random?
I mean, it's still
she's
half
got
random. It's half random. And the name makes sense. I get it. Right? But still, it's corny. But cool.
66% of SCU.
Right.
So that part
you
makes
must
sense,
have-
I guess.
Yeah. I mean, can we call it SC Flight or something like that?
Yeah.
Still
No.
corny. Doesn't matter.
Skyflight's fine.
It doesn't matter.
No, it works. Skyflight actually works. I'm only being an idiot.
You know what
Yeah, it
does?
work.
You know what does matter though?
What's
Because
that?
now that we know how La Mystica works,
Right.
it's time for Mystico to take on.
Oh. Is that all right, that one?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Thank you.
And you know what this is about, Jimmy, right? You know what this match is all about?
Oh, that good big win, that good looking win, right before the pay-per-view, you know what I mean? That
Strong
strong
win for
win.
Mystico.
Exactly.
Strong, super strong. Yeah. Now, I will say this, like, it was hard for me to tell when I was watching it. But Rick, ever since the Worlds Collide AEW version, when Mystico came out and everybody sang, like, they've been trying to do that same thing where he comes out, and I can't tell if the people are singing or not. Are they singing?
I believe so. And to skip ahead a little bit, they did have a large presence of, I guess, the Hispanic following, if that was actually, the race nationality, but it did get a reaction there in Texas.
Actually did. A pretty big one, actually.
But it was kind of awkward inside the gauntlet match because he comes out in the middle of the pack and
He's like,
everyone's doing the stupid laid out shit anyway. Why MJF just waits in the ring. So already in a gauntlet match, you're going to have it extended. That thing went like 35 minutes and they take like two and a half minutes, which seems like an eternity. Yeah. Just to everyone lay out while they just do the music thing.
He was blowing kisses, hugging babies. I'm over exaggerating now, but that's what it looked like essentially.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't consider these things when you're booking other stuff, when you should have booked him to come out first, but then you had to do your MJF and Mark Briscoe thing. So, well, the only reason I just wanted to ask, because I knew the people were into it, because once the music went off, the people were super popping for Mystico. But I just couldn't tell during the music if they were actually singing because he just kept pointing. And every time I looked at somebody, they were just like, eh. So it was probably just louder than the people.
I think it's going to be one of those little gimmicks. It's going to be about whatever arena you're in and what audience you've really got if they get it.
Well, now everybody's going to go and learn those Spanish lyrics so that when it comes to your town, they'll be able to sing. They all know that. Yeah, this is how
the little bouncing ball on screen with the lyrics.
Karaoke.
Right. Yes, this is how WWE has made all this money. They've turned it into the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So now AEW is realizing, we need sing-alongs. All of our music sucks and barely anybody has lyrics. So the only people you could sing with is Dark Julia and this guy. So we need more.
Sing along with
Jericho,
Randy Orton was
the Hurt Syndicate's good too. You can sing along.
Oh, that's fun. Come on, because it's stupid. We hurt people. Like it's fun good, just saying that. You know what I mean? So that's an exception. But Randy Orton on Saturday night's main event was overkill with the sing along, man. Even Jelly Roll was damn singing it.
Yeah. Hey, look, if you want to go to a wrestling show, you got to learn some songs. It's just like
it's a variety show. It's a variety show,
right?
It's a variety show, right? Spot on.
Anyway, so MJF comes on the screen after the Mystico gets the win, and he says as long as Mystico has masks, he's going to keep taking them until he doesn't have any more.
Wow.
That's
good luck,
okay,
MJF.
Now, speaking of that, so transitioning into the next bit, which was another Mark Briscoe promo. Okay, guys, now this Mark Briscoe, this is the real Mark Briscoe.
I was telling you about this, Jimmy, because he brought the fire here.
That's true.
And it's not like
he told me, right.
he didn't raise his voice. He didn't yell. But he was, you could hear it in how serious he was, even though it's just an angle. But I believed him. So that's how you're supposed to play this. And it's just what we kind of didn't get. Because as you were pointing out,
that's the problem.
He had the attitude of like, Max, you dumb kid, like that.
Like that's what
this was not that. This was not that. So I encourage you, if you've only watched Mark Briscoe since he's been in AEW, he has not done this here. So I encourage you all to find this short promo and see why we praise Mark Briscoe, why I say he's on the a la carte menu regardless of anything. I'll always watch anything Mark Briscoe does. It's because of shit like this, and this is how promos are done in professional wrestling, period.
Do you feel there's a difference maybe, especially here with Briscoe, as opposed to cutting a promo live and trying to feed off that energy of the crowd? And here, though, we get a private setting. He can sit down, just collect his thoughts and deliver that, just hammer home that message instead of worrying about, what the hell a couple thousand people are doing or what the hell they're chanting or what they got going on.
I understand what you're asking. My answer, I guess, is that Mark can do whatever. If you wanted him to cut a promo like this in an arena, he could absolutely do it.
He could do anything. Maybe if it took him out of that element on Dynamite as opposed to what we got on Collision, because you're right, man. And I told you, Jimmy, like, this is the Mark Briscoe that's going to be the ass kicker that kind of let me down at All In, that it wouldn't have been on site. Right when he hit that ring, he should have double-legged Max that just started beating.
But that's the
him
problem now.
Delaware.
See what I mean? And that's the friggin' issue because I went backwards on this and I saw it after you told me and I saw All In first. It didn't hit the same, even though I know it was great. Like, don't get me wrong, but watching it backwards.
Yeah, you want the follow-up, and that's where, see, now that's the thing. Like, even the greatest of all time can use a little bit of polish here and there. Like nobody's perfect all by themselves. Like an auteur, they all need a little bit of help. They need things done that they all can't, do themselves. So if I'm there on that night and I can just tell Mark, now Mark, remember, man, this is how we're going to do it. But if somebody else wanted something from him on All In day and they are not thinking of the promo he cut, then he's going to get different direction, right? So
unfortunately, and that's what, like I said, that's what sucks about it because it was so good that the follow-up just didn't match.
So this is like the ultimate definition of a la carte, right?
Literally.
So, yeah.
Like
so
the ultimate.
So here's another thing from Dynamite. Hank Person, Renee ain't gonna get shit from him, obviously, right?
No, of course not.
You ain't the right person to talk to.
Right. Then he walks into Swerve's dressing room. Will and Nana get excused. And then they go into this sit down face to face. And the only thing I sat there and I watched all this shit. I'd actually watched it with my face. I wasn't multitasking. I didn't do anything else. I just watched them say this. And at the end, all I wrote down on my phone was, save this shit for NXT and the CW. Because only a 14-year-old girl thinks this shit is drama. Get the fuck out of here with this whack shit, dude. This ain't wrestling. We just saw Mark Briscoe be wrestling. You ain't it.
That's not wrestling. That's not manhood. That's not anything right there.
It's a guy writing promos who couldn't get a job on a TV or movie idea of, whatever. Or worse yet, it's just Toni writing it. I don't know if either of these guys wrote it. That's sad. Whoever's responsible for this bullshit is sad. It's not as bad as what happened on Wednesday, but it's sad and corny.
You know what it really needed, Vet, to really hammer home how serious they each were? They should have been sitting in those chairs backwards.
Yes, I think so.
That's when you know it's real and it's hard
and
to
play
heart.
musical chairs after that?
Jimmy, don't make a joke of this real situation that these guys are having a heart to heart.
You can't make
they're
a joke.
They're having a soul connection, and you're over here chuckling, Jimmy. That is inexcusable and inappropriate for what we're talking about.
Oh man, why am I feeling embarrassed? God damn it. Kenny says, what RBV got planned for dinner today?
Well, yesterday I had 3 to 4 meals during all of that wrestling. Lunch, late lunch, dinner, and snack. So for All In, I ate all out. I went and got all fast food.
Nice.
So for Evolution, I'm figuring in honor of the Battle Royal, I'm going to eat 20 tacos.
That's not bad. Did you eat pizza too?
No, I had wings and subs, remember?
Oh, yeah. I thought you had pizza too. Maybe it was last week, but anyway.
All right. We still got a lot of stuff to cover. So let's get through some of this. Mox and Marina take the show over. And by that, I mean they walk out and grab the mic in the live audience. And Marina calls Hangman a pussy. And that's the best part of this. Probably the whole show other than the Mark Briscoe promo. Then it's FTRkey versus the Jet Speed Runners. I found it funny that in a promotion where it's like AEW, whatever arena they're inhabiting is like a perpetual crime scene where at any point someone could get kidnapped. There could be property damage, vehicle damage.
You get stabbed.
You get stabbed. You could get smothered. At the very least, you'll get jumped by somebody from behind, probably hit with a pipe. Any of these things is like there's always danger. Even the announcers could get challenged to tag team matches. You never know what could happen in AEW. And yet in this match, they work a false tag where it's like the Turbo gets tagged in for the hot tag and like the referee's like, no, get out. You can't. You didn't make the legal tag. I didn't see it.
You got to draw the line somewhere.
Bad. They really do, man. This is ridiculous, somewhere. Man. You can't have it fucking both ways. Why? What's wrong with this company?
Goddamn Outrunners breaking the rules around here.
Fuck me.
Maybe in the 80s, guys, it was okay to just come in whenever you wanted. But here in 2025, you better stand with both feet flat on the apron, reach over the top, holding the rope, and make sure he touches all 5 of your fingers, daddy. Anyway, Axon takes the kick splash combo from, Bailey and Kevin.
And Knight.
Yeah. So, hey, cool. Then Lexi's with AJ. No, not that one. No, not that one either. The fat one with the kids. He calls out the entire Callis family, I guess. He says he's going to fight them all. And he's backed up by, former and current and future Conglomeration members, Tomohiro Ishii, Hologram, and Kyle O'Reilly. So
they're getting the band back together, baby.
Can't wait to hear how this shook out. Big Stoke cuts a promo. Then we get a singles match. Katsuyori Shibata versus Gabe Kidd. It's teacher versus student. Yuta jumps up, and while he's distracting everybody, Shibata gets hit in the balls, and Gabe Kidd pile drives him. Then Statlander goes to the desk for an All-Star 8 woman.
Yes.
It's Willow. It's Mina. It's Queen. It's Rosa. Yeah, got to be a main event. Versus Megan, Tekla, Dark Julia. Or do you want to do the Dark Julia thing real quick, Jim?
Dark Julia.
Yeah. And Athena. And I thought the funniest part of this match was Dark Julia was in there just clubbing Willow for about 30 seconds while everybody got their shit in and their spots on the outside. And then as soon as she was done with that, Willow bowed up and gave her a power bomb and beat her. And then there was a schmoz afterwards where every woman on the roster came out.
Of course. But you know what? If you notice, is Dark Julia so dark anymore? She suddenly see the light. What's going on with her, man? Why even play along this gimmick?
Pretty dark. And don't forget Dark Sky was out there with her.
That's true. She's still looking dark, though, at least.
Very dark.
Very dark. And I like the look, too. Yeah, I agree with that.
Hey. I'm not going to complain.
No,
I'm just telling you. I'm just here to tell you the result. Willow bowed up after 30 seconds of clubs from Dark Julia and won the match. So,
Willow's been a beast lately, man. I like
Willow.
she's lost she's lost a lot of weight too, but not a lot where she's like gone small now. She's that perfect sort of body for her size.
yeah, I guess you guys say that. Willow's kind of been in shape for a little bit now, but
Oh no,
I guess
definitely.
everybody's
I don't think
noticed.
she ever looked bad.
No, she was
Her
never
was fine
like
to me. She
fat,
looks fine
like
to
if
me.
you know what I mean, right? She's just a
It's
little
all
bit chunky,
different
but in a
body
good way.
types, Jimmy.
No, all
right.
right, man. She's got a great body.
All right, enough. Everybody loves Willow. Now, I've had the baton. I am passing it. I don't know who I'm passing it to, but I
Jimmy.
get to just chill in the backseat like I originally was supposed to when the Wreckage was invented. And I get to let you guys take me on a ride.
Okay.
And I can maybe chime in or ask some questions on some clarifications that I'm looking forward to handing the reins off. So here I go.
Rick, how do you want to do this? Do you want to lead it or do you want me to lead it?
I'll let you kind of do the match stuff, but I'll paint the picture here for Vet. We'll set the atmosphere, the mood,
Please.
the ambiance for him here. Again, I do want to put over kudos to Tony Khan and them. A lot of people, a lot of concern where they're going to pull this thing off. Their biggest domestic show, the stadium show down there in Arlington, Texas, home of the Texas Rangers. They did a magnificent job transforming the ballpark. You know, a lot of times when they do these baseball stadiums, it has that weird feel to it. Just had a great wrestling vibe about it. The fans were hungry for it. As we said, if you got there, you were probably there for 10, 11 hours, maybe, all depending when you got there at the gates, when you could get the hell out of there. They stayed hot. There was a great energy throughout this entire show. There's a few matches you could tell where they pulled back. Maybe the interest level wasn't there, but they revved it right back up all the way through that main event there. So awesome job all around. Everything looked great. Production was crisp. Probably the best that we've seen from AEW.
Yeah, the set was great too. It really felt like a WrestleMania-esque event. But it kind of reminded me more of
their biggest
of a
event
Kingdom.
of the year,
For
for AEW, and their biggest domestic show taking on an undertaking like this with the stadium. And a lot of naysayers, a lot of people are going to be eating crow about that, you know, with the ticket sales and all that. And they shot it so well to hide any of those areas.
I think the hard camera side still looked a little, suspect, but it doesn't matter. It looked great on TV for sure. And I totally agree with you. But we start off with the 0 hour though, Rick. And I don't know if you watched the whole 0 hour. Did you end up watching it all? Because we did end the Smack Attack. Kind of, I was sort of not halfway through.
I had it rolling while we were going there. So yeah, we've got a lot of the hype there. We've got who we have. We had the City Kid. You had Jarrett there. You had Show. So we got some name value there, hyping this thing up. Handful of matches. You just want to real quick pepper through these matches here, Jimmy, instead of breaking them down there for the pre-show.
Yeah, I'm not going to break it down, but in the 0 hour pre-show,
3 matches.
We did have 3 matches, and the first match was the Sons of Texas, pretty much the Von Erichs, defeating the Shane Taylor Promotions via Iron Claw pinfall. Cool moment, it was in Texas for the Von Erichs, and not much to say other than Shane Taylor Promotions lose again as per usual.
Well, I think the bigger story there, I'm sorry, because there is something there. It's an 8-man tag vet. So you've got the Sons of Texas, Dustin, and Sammy teaming up with the Von Erichs. As of note here, by the time we get to that 4-way we were telling you about, it will be 3 matches in 24 hours for Dustin and Sammy. And they play that into the story. But you have Sons of Texas going over here, 8-man that we regularly get on these things, just a little over 7 minutes. To get the thing going. But the story was about Dustin and Sammy with all these different matches happening.
Sounds good.
Right, and there's more to that later on, obviously, when we get to it.
Now you like this one. Your boy, Big Boom, was out.
Oh, how much, man? Dude, was he he was in the ring
jump out
for
real
way
quick
too
and
much.
watch this?
Oh, please, go watch it. But did you feel like Rick Boom, Boom AJ, whatever the freaking hell his name is, man, he was carrying this damn match, it felt like.
Well, I wanted to ask you guys about that because this is one of the areas maybe I've just pushed out of my mind here. What is the continued appeal with Big Boom AJ? I know he's a great influencer. I've had a little bit of fun with him, but to bring him in here for a big spot like this, and he was a very prominent spot in here. Kind of lost me here again, but I guess it's part of the shtick when the Sons get in there and start hitting their spots on some of the guys, especially, you know, Rocky eating spot from these kids.
Dude, that ruined wrestling. The finish to this ruined
there's a lot,
wrestling to me.
This is where we pinpoint it, but
it's right up there. And Vet, you would have loved this because get this, AJ's little fat kid son.
Which one?
Spears, was it Kip Sabian?
The younger one?
Yeah, the younger one.
Okay.
Speared one of the, I can't remember who he speared because it was irrelevant.
Okay.
He speared, got the finish, 1, 2, 3. Little fat kid
wins
the match. Oh man, who was it, man? It would
should
be
have
funny
speared
if
Archer.
it was.
That would have been the best.
It was Rocky,
Actually,
or was it Trent? Or
yeah,
Rocky?
no, it was Rocky. It was Rocky. It would have been way better if it was Archer, though, 100%. But yeah, but still, it was. Don't do finishes like that, man. They shouldn't, man. They really shouldn't.
So now, as for the appeal, I'm the wrong person to ask, of course, because often with things that are extremely popular trends, whether it's, you know, in the entire world or whether it's, you know, compartmentalized off into social media or reality television or whatever things that different types of people like or whatever, I'm usually against it. So, you know, I don't know what these guys' appeal was every time, let's see, to use a phrase I think that the youth of today would probably best identify with, as far as every time I've seen this guy and his kids on the AEW screen talking, cringe AF, I think is how they say it. So I don't get the appeal, but for lowest common denominator people, that the kind of people that actually can sit and watch YouTube videos unironically like this, like that these guys do, I guess they love it. So I don't know if it really has brought in an audience that's different, like you would hope it would. And I kind of see that sort of across the, you know, the television and ratings stuff. Everyone is, you know, Logan Paul doesn't move any numbers. These guys don't move any numbers. But for social media and those type of things, maybe they do get a lot more numbers. So as long as their YouTube channel's monetized, and I believe the 0 hours on it, anybody that wants to watch these guys is getting them some ad revenue, hopefully.
It absolutely is. Where I watch it, so I'm gonna have to check them out. It's just I'm not knocking them. I'm just unfamiliar with it. So I'm just wondering what their appeal
I think
was.
they do what you do, but probably worse. So
I could say one thing, Rick. AJ, the you know, the dad, he was an actual professional wrestler, believe it or not. So
yeah, they mentioned that.
Put up Kenny's comment.
If Rizzler makes it to 30, he's going to be moved around on a days like Jabba the Hutt. Oh man, he's going to be a hairy fucking guy when he's older too. I think, man, he looks hairy already, bro. No, really. Do you get what I mean? Those eyebrows are freaking bushy as hell as well, man.
All right,
so we move on to we have our main event of the 0 hour of the pre-show.
The fucking
it was announced over on Collision that FTR is going to put this thing to rest. They're going to end this little problem they have with the Outrunners. So again, we have another incarnation here. They're back to back, a one-on-one from that big match we put over on the platform here. FTR versus the Outrunners. Some good storytelling here. A basic match, much like the first go around that we saw with them.
It was it didn't live up to that, though, Rick. No way.
Pretty good. They're getting a little bit more of the spots in here. It goes 16 minutes. FTR goes over in this thing. They look good. You know, they got their, you know, they got a big pop. The fans are digging them here. FTR over, and then Stokely does let us know they are done. They are moving on from the Outrunners. In fact, they're moving on so much that they have been granted permission that FTR is going to be sitting in on commentary for the Triple Threat Tag Team Championship later in the night. So we end the 0 hour, the countdown show. We are ready
before
now.
you continue on, Rick, you know what got over in that match really was the Outrunners gear. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what everybody was talking.
The Newport gear, right?
The Newport gear, yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, if you know, you've got to stick out. You've got to get people's attention. They know how to do it. So they're going to do it through the attire there. If they're not going to get the win, if they're not in the big picture going forward for that tag team championship, leave them talking about something. And the Outrunners are absolutely going to do that.
For sure. But why did I have to get over him twice? Give him a friggin' win, man. Come on.
Well, obviously the company's more invested there at FTR right now.
I get it, but fuck.
So they're not in the grand plan. And with the Outrunners, if they're going to give you an inch right now, make the absolute most of it because they're going to keep going.
Well,
back,
they didn't the first time they got hot, Rick. That's the thing that worries me. You know what I mean? When they caught fire the first time, they had so many chances to pull the trigger with these guys, and
what's the mindset with something like that? I mean, you just got to keep knocking away every opportunity, right? If they pull back on you, just wait again. They're going to come back to you.
The mindset is you want the shoot mindset? The mindset is the mindset is these guys are getting over.
These guys. You know these guys. Y'all came from the same.
Well, I know one of them. The mindset is these guys are getting over and we don't like it, so let's cool this off.
See?
And you can guess who's making that call and who's telling who to do that. So, don't, do good, but not too good and all those things that you've always heard. That's the real reason why. Cause even if like you could have the Outrunners lose key matches and still keep them hot.
Right.
But what they do is they just take them off TV entirely.
Completely for like,
so that's like, you like, for example, just to give like sort of a kind of a parallel, like people kind of say the same stuff about LA Knight, right? LA Knight doesn't win a lot of the matches. It's about 50-50, but he's there. He's on the show. He's in people's minds. Like the more they see him not win, the more they want him to win. The only bad thing about his booking would be if they cut him out completely. So as long as LA Knight's on the program, he's going to remain somewhat hot. Not as hot, but like I said, there's ways to keep people hot even when they lose. It just makes you want to see them win. So if you do it correctly, you can't do it. If you're not doing that with the Outrunners, if you're not taking advantage of their hotness, there's other things at work here that are political.
Gotcha. And one of the things that's irritated with me about the Outrunners is just not the lack of recognition for the outside work, the PR stuff. They absolutely slayed it a few weeks ago over on TNT with the NASCAR stuff. Thankfully, they did show a little bit of swerve, but on the programming, they downplayed that. They were all over representing. Did an amazing job of bringing All Elite Wrestling to the forefront in front of that race audience. And we got nothing about that on the programming.
That's definitely politics, fan, for sure.
No, I hear that's beyond that. It's just lack of awareness about your cross branding and your promotional and the importance of PR. I mean, I regularly tell people in indie wrestling, PR is so important in pro wrestling. It's the first two letters.
They've got no PR in AEW, feels like, man. Who's their marketing team, man? I don't even know any of them.
That is the major difference when you're talking about the big boy company, right? And where AEW is at.
Facts. True,
and real quick before we move on, because Todd brought up an interesting point. He said carrying Cross, another example. Here's the weird thing about Cross, though. Cross is a heel. Cross is being turned into a babyface because people don't believe in wrestlers or wrestling anymore. They just believe in the booking and the pushes. So when they see somebody like Cross that they're entertained by, they start cheering for. They're cheering against the booking rather than for the person.
Right.
You're supposed to think that Cross is a despicable human being.
I love
because he won't leave that wonderful guy Sami Zayn alone. So you're not supposed to like him, but because the fans are respecting him and they're respecting his work ethic, or maybe they got to know him through social media or whatever, they're doing that. But like that's one thing if the fans are doing that and WWE's not capitalizing on it one way or the other. But when we're talking about like raging baby faces that the people are ready to get behind as they're supposed to, and then you cut the water off, as Arn Anderson would say or whatever, then that's a little bit different. So not quite the same thing, but I get what your point is.
Best in the world right there, man.
Let me ask you, Fed, when it comes from that fan perspective, just a little aside question here for you, is you're talking about we're raging against the booking instead of supporting, the character. As a fan, is that the wrong angle to take with it? Because I've said this a couple of times to Jimmy in the last couple of weeks. If you're a fan of Kevin Owens and he's out there busting his ass to work as a heel, trying to get a negative reaction to enhance the show. But you just happen, I know Kevin on social media. I follow him. I can't boo him. I got to cheer him. Isn't that counterproductive to what he's doing? You're not you love this guy, but you're hurting what he's trying to do.
I blame the company on that though, but go Vet. So,
well, you're right, Jimmy, because that's exactly where I was going to go. It's like the fans can't be wrong in a way.
Right. No, you're right.
If they're doing something, that's a failure of the promotion to be doing their job. A wrestling promotion is about the keyword promotion. They're supposed to promote the people that they have under contract so that you will spend your money on them because you believe in that person or you want to believe. Let's say you don't really believe, but you want to believe. I know that wrestling is a show, but this guy seems genuine to me, so I will buy his shirt, I'll buy his toy, I will buy his poster, whatever, whatever. So that's the idea. If the fans are cheering for furniture instead of a wrestler, you have failed. If the fans are cheering the booking instead of a person, you have failed. So it's always on the promotion to sort of corral the fan interest and funnel it where you want it to go. I want to sell this merchandise, so I'm going to put a focus on these people. I want these people to be the villains. And how do we get to this point? The toothpaste is out of the tube. You can't put it back in, but it's just because the business is too exposed. And it only keeps getting more exposed. And just when you think you can't expose it anymore, they expose it again. So you have shit like LFG. You have shit like this Unreal show that's coming out. You have shit like every post-match press conference in AEW and WWE where you basically come out and says everything you just saw was fake. Don't buy any of it. You got people like The Rock going on podcasts talking about shit. It's just you can't, that you are just constantly that's where the promotion has failed where it comes to the fans, because you're not protecting enough anymore. It's not like you have to say, yes, everything we're doing is real, but you do have to protect it a little bit. There's some things that the fans are not entitled to know everything. So because the floodgates have been opened, that's where you get things like equity is so important in wrestling now. It's why if Randy Orton, for example, you can't turn Randy Orton heel because the people have just been with him for 20 some years and they love Randy because they know he's put the time in.
Right. Exactly.
They sing his song, like to your point earlier. Like if you turn him heel, nobody's going to believe it. They're not going to believe he hates Cody Rhodes or anybody else that you would turn him against. They just know, Randy Orton still entertains me. He does the RKO. I know that from memes because I'm a kid. I just... Yep. This is just where we are now. There's nothing you can do about it. But I don't want to, this is complete other podcast series worth of talk here. We've got a lot to get through. I got to move on.
I just wanted to kind of scratch the surface on that because we've been talking about it. But hey, Jimmy, so let's use this formula here. I'll hit the match. We'll talk the finish there. You chime in there a little bit about the action, the bell to bell, some of the things that we saw happen here, and we'll kind of keep that same pace that had to get us up to this point here in the show because we're on a good timing pace. Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And we are on good timing. I was thinking that actually just 2 minutes ago.
We got into the show here. We're going to kick things off. Our opening contest is going to be a trios match for the AEW Trios Championship. The Ops, Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Samoa Joe, the defending champions. They're taking on the Death Riders. Of course, this incarnation of Death Riders made up of Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, and Gabe Kidd. Big opening match here. Very physical, as you would expect. Everybody getting their stuff in. A lot of heavy hitters in this thing, just throwing down. But we do see... So... it was because of post-match beatdown, right, Jimmy? That happened here on
Samoa Joe got taken out.
Yeah, the Ops do retain, but they win the battle, but possibly lose the war here after because Samoa Joe gets a terrible, terrible ass whooping afterwards.
Yeah,
Twisted Metal season 3.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. It's probably why. Yeah. It's probably why. Yeah, more than likely because the way they booked him, like at the end there, it looks like he's going to be out for a few weeks at least. because it didn't look good. But it's all a work. It's not a shoot, obviously. But definitely he'd be going away for a while.
Okay.
But
so does that mean Hook is ready to come back and kind of just slide back into that spot? One in, one out?
No, man. You know what? This obviously needs to just go away even at this point. I mean, hasn't really done anything really for anyone right at this point other than get Hook concussed. Vet, I'm talking to you, Vet, even particularly.
I was just going to say you're looking for some TV spot for quite a few people here. So, I mean, the trios pairing has kind of worked.
Yeah, but as the trios worked in general in AEW, I don't think it actually has.
Again, like what I was just talking about for the past couple minutes, it's the fault of the promotion. Anything could work if you put it over. So if they're not putting it over, that's their fault. It's not obviously the ops fault. So, anything that gets more Hook out there, not only because I like Hook, but because Hook needs reps. That's all he really needs. He's got everything else. So just get more Hook. But if he's not well enough to come back and there's some other issue going on, then, I wish him all the best. But, this could open the door for him to come back if Samoa Joe's got to be gone for some reason. Maybe that was their way of thinking it. And we've seen Hook pop back in here and there, but
right,
nothing sustained. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But anyways,
to your point there, Jimmy, as well, they're looking for things to occupy all of these talents. And, Tony, he loves a shiny toy of belts. He thinks is going to generate interest towards people. Our second match out of All In Texas. We're putting this thing over. I love the style of this match. It is our men's casino gauntlet match. The winner of this thing is going to get a future AEW championship match. Of course, we know who's going to start this thing off. MJF is number one out. He eventually picks up the win here over Roderick Strong, 34-55 in this thing. Again, for those of you that maybe watching or haven't seen this thing, it's kind of like a reverse Royal Rumble with a pinfall. So you want to get in early. You want to get in early. Whoever scores the first pinfall wins this match, and it can happen at any time. But until then, they just keep adding people. And it, which also is kind of unique about it, is we don't know the time.
I was going to ask you that.
So it kind of just they randomly just throw out the time increments. We start getting that countdown clock, and we get a number of participants into this thing.
Not just that, Vet, do you even have any idea what's the maximum amount of participants in this match over the years? None. Do you know? That's what I mean. I don't like
the rules.
Why?
Sorry, Moxley, get out there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We ran out of guys. No, I don't know. Maybe there is, but because I would have no way of knowing if anybody ever hit the limit, right? Because they don't. That's what I'm saying. They may have said it. I just don't remember. Like maybe there was one in the past where it was like 25 guys and they all got in.
Maybe
because they don't necessarily have to end it early. Or that's the beauty of wrestling being a work. You can do whatever you want. But my question is this: I was promised an uninterrupted ass whooping for 2 minutes, Rick, and
that's the issue. It should have been on site. MJF is number one out. He gets his entrance, and it should have been Mark just boom.
I couldn't believe it, man.
They have a little bit of exchange there for a little bit, and then who was number three? There was a
was it Ricochet?
Ricochet comes out, and at that point, there we completely abandon this. What really should almost be a blood feud here. The shots he was taking at him, saying it should have been him instead of his brother, and then you saw the rage from Mark. We pretty much abandoned that. And
completely.
So if I'm booking on the fly with your recap or whatever, so Ricochet comes out, and the first thing I have Ricochet do is go sit in the corner and watch Mark pummel MJF.
No. You know what they do? They team up together to pummel what's it called? Briscoe.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, but I would rather this is me booking now. So
right.
I would say do that because Ricochet really doesn't care. So he just knows he's got to survive. And then if Mark looks like he's about to actually take a pin, then Ricochet could kick him or something. But the rest of the time he wouldn't want to. So
there was no urgency between them two at all. Trust me, there really wasn't, and that's what was sad about it, and that's why everything that we saw.
Jimmy, inside of the match, I'm trying to think. So we got 34 minutes here. We're seeing a lot of familiar faces. Was there any big?
Well, Mystico and the sing-along in Spanish
Mystico,
was
the
the thing.
sing-along, as we talked about that, they kind of just like, well, here was another,
Juice Robinson was a big deal. He's back, by the way.
Juice is back, clean cut.
Juice is back.
Looks completely different.
I actually like his look, man. I'm happy to see him back, but also the guns are back too. I'm happy for a Jay White appearance shortly as well.
We had the Gates of Agony. They make an appearance inside his match. So we've got this complete melee going on where you got all these participants coming in just trying to score a pinfall. The Gates of Agony come out. The guns come out. So now we have got like a side fight inside of this just outrageous brawl club, going basically on. So they eventually fight their way back to the back. So now they've disappeared. My only holdback with a match like this, and it's the same when we go the other way where you want to be a late entrant into something like a Royal Rumble, that is, all right, next guy out, hit the music. Whoever their closest adversary, like in a storyline is, happens to be in the middle of the ring. Everyone else is laid out. Everyone stops. That guy hits the ring, hits his big spot. Rinse, repeat. Now let's fight to the outside. I'll lay down for the next guy to come out.
Yeah, it's an obvious method
whoever
he's
beefing with the most, make your way into the ring so you can come in and hit your spot. So there's no like fluid activity.
It's not like the Royal Rumble, man. The Royal Rumble feels way more fluid. The Royal Rumble's
just as bad like that. Everybody lays down. So there's a big entrance and a pop, and they come in and hit their finisher on a few people. The Royal Rumble,
but if you notice though. With this, the Casino Battle Royal, you notice there's so many guys sleeping for a good 15 minutes that you forget they're even in the match. Like they're just out of sight, out of mind for a good 15 minutes.
Well, at least in this match, they can go on the floor and hide. In the Royal Rumble, they have to lay there on the canvas.
Which is true too. But unfortunately, there's a lot of them hiding, man. The ring was never filled. Put it that way. It never felt like filled. It felt like you could see every spot coming and how it was working. You
could easily forget about who the participants were.
Right. Easily.
I have a question. So as you've seen this match and you've seen the first match, do you think they should have flip-flopped the card position?
Yes.
I would have
100%.
Yeah, I would have gone with the gauntlet to open the thing. Much more exciting.
It was a weird placement, man. Why would you go with number 2 on the card for something
even
like
though they already saw
sense.
3 matches?
Right.
But you still could have fired up some people at home, like if you knew that you were going to get your supposedly promised 2 minutes uninterrupted ass whooping.
Yeah.
This was the perfect
I think that would have been
matchup.
Good open this thing. MJF goes over in this thing. He gets his nice little contract there. So now he is he gets a future opportunity. So I guess he is the new number 1 contender.
Was it Mark who done their finisher where MJF came in like a hyena and took over the pin? Was it Ricochet or Mark Briscoe possibly? I forgot who hit their finisher. And then MJF threw him out of the ring, and then that's how he got the 1, 2, 3.
Probably would have been Briscoe then.
I think it was Mark Briscoe, but they did their finisher, threw him out, and then
that's kind of weird because I was just recalling the finisher. They kind of had the same finish to the men's and the women's, but we'll talk about that.
It's bizarre.
We do have our first really good feel-good moment of the night. That as we were telling you about, we had Adam Cole comes out and vacates the TNT Championship, a very heartfelt speech to the audience. The only thing, and again for Cole, man, that bump card has been used out for a while. Hopefully everything's okay there. They find this one grown-ass man sitting on the floor, and he is bawling his eyes out over the Adam Cole announcement. It was kind of pathetic, man. This guy had lost his shit. But we have Dustin Rhodes, Daniel Garcia, who's out there with Daddy Magic, who goes to commentary for some damn reason, Kyle Fletcher, and Sammy Guevara. This thing goes 15:54, typical fatal 4-way match. Everybody kind of gets stuff in. This is one of those, the match itself felt kind of bad for these guys. The audience completely kind of zoned out on this one. This is where they pulled back. They were not into this thing.
How could they be? They weren't promised this match or excited to see it because they didn't know it was happening.
34-minute just melee right ahead of it.
Yeah.
So it was hard.
Yeah, this is a bad spot for the let me up match.
But they do pick up at the end, very emotional moment. Dustin Rhodes picks up the win, and they were telling that story. This is his actual first championship in AEW. Obviously, he holds a few championships down in
He
Ring of
never had
Honor.
a
We know the
TNT
history.
run before that.
He fell short in all of those. He just fell
Okay.
short in each attempt that he's had here. So his first time tasting gold, he gets to do it in Texas in front of a hometown crowd, and he is overcome with emotion. Post-match, his sons come out and celebrate. The Von Airs come out and celebrate. And they, the little tease of Sammy over there, who had just been bested inside of the match. He wanted that championship himself. The tag team partners embrace, and we have a nice little celebration there, Vet.
A lot of
Feel
crying.
good. Feel
All
good.
crying.
I'm crying
the
too,
start
but
to
it's
the
like
finish.
you can't see it through the stream. StreamYard's fucking up. You can't see my tears. But.
Yes, crying.
So we do have the next one is one of our first big matches. We had the big build up going into the show here. Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. They're going to be taking on the EVPs, the Young Bucks. Big stipulations on the line here. If Ospreay and Strickland fail in their attempt to get the W from the Bucks, they will not be able to challenge for the AEW championship for 1 year. I know you guys have been talking about that over the couple weeks and what that could
We
mean.
were wrong.
storyline-wise.
I actually don't know. I actually don't know what happened here. I didn't see anything on social media.
If the Bucks
Yep.
lose,
Keep your
they are
fingers in your
stripped.
mouth.
They are stripped of their EVP responsibilities. We do get big entrances here. This is our first big entrances of the evening. Ospreay gets the Assassin's Creed for you two, your gamers.
Okay.
You got the ninjas out there doing their kind of stuff. You get the big entrance for him. The Swerve one. This is probably one of the biggest, like what the F moments of the entire show. That we get a JoJo Offerman sighting. She's out with the microphone. JoJo's out there. Jimmy, what the hell is she singing? She was singing about like my dude rocks me. She like singing for like 4 minutes.
Is that her big hit? Her big hit song, Jimmy?
It wasn't
no. It was
where
Swerve's
she's like
original.
filming at her grandma's house where she did the video. It was something else. But
It was Swerve's original indie theme song that everyone knows him for.
Oh, was it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone knows.
I had no clue.
What? Ain't Nobody by Shaka Khan?
Exactly. Spot on. That's what it was.
Okay.
That's what she was singing.
I am an out of touch white.
could you not?
kid
I actually
from
like
Ohio.
that. I thought the
I popped
RBV.
for
I thought
that.
you were saying she sang that video that she put out or whatever for some reason.
I didn't know what
for
she
no
was
reason.
singing. I had no
I'm
idea there was a
surprised.
tie. I had no idea. That there was a
classic
tie.
song.
Yeah, he used
man.
to. He was.
Shaka Khan,
that's when
man.
I first. That's when I first saw him. He was the MLW. Well, no, I think I first saw Killshot, but he was the MLW champion, and he was using that. And I was like, "How's MLW not getting all this shit
Zane,
pulled
I said ninjas.
for using this?"
I don't want to get that confused with anybody when I'm talking about Swerve in the segment. I said ninjas. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Ninjas too,
I
by
got
the
it.
way.
All
Hey,
right, so
hey guys, check that shit out. If you don't know what we're
Okay,
talking about,
I'm gonna
if
have
you're
to
too
look at-
white
she
or
looked
too
good.
young.
she looked great. So she
She had lost a lot of weight
that.
too.
She sings that. When I was watching her there, I'm thinking if you really want to get Ricochet heat, team him up with his wife. People will hate on that dude.
Well, she did say she wants to do more than announcing, so
She wanted to GM or manage or something. Hey, they will hate on that dude if he goes out there and flaunts at that. He's going home and hitting that.
But in saying that, JoJo did sing it pretty nicely. It was it was her way.
All right. And I was way off. I was like,
I'm
what
gonna
the
go listen.
hell
I'm gonna
was
listen
that?
now.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it doesn't go for long.
I'll
It
be
does
right
get
back.
into Swerve's. It does get into Swerve's theme though. Like she sings a little like part of Ain't Nobody, and then it gets into fucking Tui's actual.
I'm learning.
Theme
I'm
song.
learning here.
It's a
then it
classic
hits-
song.
Then it hits.
You know,
it.
you know that song, RBV. You probably just didn't recognize it in the stadium setting. Everybody knows.
Trust
that
me,
song.
you will know the song. You'll know the song 100%.
Then the Bucks make their way out. They where are they going? They head off stage.
What classic
God.
R&B song did they come out to?
Hey,
No,
all right.
no,
they
that
were
classic
getting some
R&B.
heat as the founding fathers.
Yeah.
They come out, they do their little pose thing, and then they
Like,
start taking off. Man. They're heading for left field. You don't know where they're going, and they come back out in an old wooden ship, just like the founding fathers crossing the Delaware. They're making their way through, and they're having Justin was doing the ring announcing, and he's reading this credo about how they
Yeah.
are responsible for bringing the elite to professional wrestling and all that. So a good little hate spot for them in their entrance.
What's funny actually, Rick? This wasn't the first time they've come out to that entrance. That's the second time they've done this before. So it wasn't new.
In a boat.
They should have added, just to make it different for the
not the
stadium
boat part.
show, they should have had wooden dentures and they should have carried like cherry tree branches.
Yeah.
Hey, those just
Like
weapons.
Labrat says, founding mothers.
But you can't chew gum during your match if you got wooden dentures in there.
Ooh,
I mean, you
good
could
question.
take them out, then put the gum in to start the match.
This thing, they're throwing everything. Falsies everywhere inside of this thing.
Falsies
Super
everywhere.
kicks everywhere. It goes
Even the
25 minutes, Jimmy.
25.
Just I was like by the end of it.
So yeah, I mean it's what you would expect everybody out of this Fed. You know,
Yeah, I can feel what this match was.
Don't even bother ever. Don't even
but
bother.
I know you know the finish though. You guys have been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, kind of weird.
It's just for Ospreay to take that 1 year hiatus to build
Only
up
'cause it
going
made
back
sense.
across the drink. You know, and I think you could have had a great story even in the Owen Hart Cup finals. It could have been Swerve versus Ospreay, two of them that had to sit out. Who's it going to be?
Right.
But the EVPs are stripped of the titles. A big swing of power. By those guys.
Power.
Abuse their rank.
So just to be clear, nobody gets the EVPs. They're just no longer EVPs, right?
That's right. Correct.
Right. Like they're not fired. They don't have to go away, but
And Swerve and Will are not taking their place in the company as EVPs, so they don't have to ride in limos or wear Jordans with tacks on the bottom.
No,
right.
Definitely not Jordans with tacks on the bottoms, and they're just normal subcontractors.
You know what would have been classic though? I'm going to even look if they were smart enough to do this. I'm going to head over to AEW.com. They should have listed the EVP positions on their careers section of the website.
Oh, see, but are they smart enough to go that far? I don't know, man.
I'm
WWE would have
going
done
to
it.
look at it. I'm going to look at it. I think that would have been hilarious for them to do. But is Vet saying, okay, now who's going to take over those roles? Is that just open office space there?
I think they just lost it. Like, I think Kenny gave his up. They just got stripped of theirs. Like,
so
Cody left. There's nobody
Tony has
left.
to do all this himself?
And he's still, I don't imagine how he could have ever done that. I would have definitely made all their merch, like, clearance down to $1 on Shop AEW.
That would have been funny.
I think
smart though.
You got what you say there. There's an opportunity to have some fun with this, Vet. You know, to have somebody slide into that.
But they won't do it, Rick. That's the thing, bro.
No, they don't. Their idea of fun is there's glass everywhere.
Real glass.
Well, we will have glass everywhere later on. Athena is now your women's #1 contender. She gets a future AEW Women's World Championship match. 27 minutes. She outlasts an entire field. She gets the first pinfall there to win the match in the women's gauntlet match. With this one, Bet you had mentioned there in the week, we'd seen the entire women's locker room file out into the arena. This is one of the matches I would have liked to seen end short, where we see like, oh shit, this only got 5 women in and it's over. Because Jimmy, right, we had some people long returns that we hadn't seen for a while in this match. And we even had people making their debuts with the company.
Who came back? So, who debuted?
There was an Asian chick that debuted. You probably know her. Yeah, Mina loved it. She was like the only reaction in the whole stadium that understood who the hell it was. And it was Alex
Suri, if I pronounce it right.
Suri?
Yeah, Syuri.
Hey, I know her. One for the gauntlet. Get me Siri.
Yeah, not confusing at all.
No.
I know who that is though. She was like the top of Stardom for a while.
She made a debut, and they made it seem like that. She's part of the company. Oh, and also Alex Windsor made a debut from the UK, even though she's been around.
We did a big ooh on that one last one, but Sayuri's not the person to bring in on a debut like this. This is the vignettes leading up to type person.
No one had a clue, bro. I mean, no one reacted.
I mean,
I'm surprised they didn't though. The fans should have known her. It's not like she's just some like Mina. To put this in perspective, Mina Shirakawa would be like in Stardom. Mina Shirakawa would be like a friggin', I don't know,
Santino?
not like a. I'm trying to think what's a good place on the card for. I don't know.
Was she upper mid card when she was in Japan?
just not the top. Sayuri was like the
top.
Sayuri was like a top, like a Cody Rhodes for a while.
Really? Okay. All right.
What was she? It was, like over there, like maybe like an LA Knight, somebody that they know they could heat up when they need it, but they could just kind of keep it that next level.
Yeah,
I don't think her character works over there compared to the US, though.
Yeah, she wasn't closing
they don't love
shows.
Big giant
though.
titties bouncing around over there.
She wasn't closing shows though. Sayuri was like main event champion, close the show, that type person. That you don't just throw her in a fucking battle royal. Wow. Even if the people, but whatever. Anyway, so who else? Anybody else debut or return?
No, that was it.
Yeah, you get your usual spots in this thing. But Mina looks like she's got this thing won. They're even excited. They're putting it over. Pin her, man. And she's going to pose. And then Athena hits her with that top rope, that Devastator, and picks up the win. But a good reaction for Athena. Crowd was really into that.
Oh, the right woman won. And we said this too. Yeah, exactly. And we were talking about this. We were saying she should win this battle royale, right?
A long time coming, no matter what.
Absolutely.
That's what division, the longest reigning Ring of Honor champ of all time. And we've seen them tease it a little bit. And it seems that audience has been hungry about it. They're finally getting the payoff for a big win for her.
And I hope she does get the payoff that she truly, not just deserves, but has earned.
Don't fuck this up.
Well,
you don't get this many opportunities where you've
do-overs.
You've whatever she's done in Ring of Honor that everybody hasn't seen because they don't watch Ring of Honor, but that's been going on for 2 years. You're not going to do anything else ever again for 2 years. You don't have the attention span for that, so you can't fuck this up. Don't fuck it up. Anyway,
so we
fuck it up.
After the big win there for Athena, we refocused our attention. We got tag team action. The Hurt Syndicate, they get a big special interest, and that was fun for that sing along. We hurt people, hurt people. We get the entire stadium, thousands and thousands. We hurt people. Of course, they're taking on Jet Speed, who I got to say, at first I would just laugh at this team, but I have come to enjoy seeing them get beat up, especially at the hands of the Hurt Syndicate. Mm-hmm. This one kind of threw me, and you guys can maybe talk about the setup on this one. We touched a little bit, but the need for this to even be a triple threat. We get the patriarchy.
It was never meant to be, Rick.
With Christian Cage and Nick Wayne attempting to become the first father-son duo into this thing. FTR is on commentary. This match itself, to me, lost a lot of meaning when you made it a triple threat. When you got FTR involved into this thing, you add all the other stuff. It was just took a back seat to the Strickland Ospreay Bucks match. And this is supposed to be your focal point, your tag division. The Hurt Syndicate, one of the best things going in professional wrestling. Another backseat. Even inside of this match, they're not really shining. There was an awesome spot, though, where Benjamin was throwing suplexes like they were going out of style. And he hit Speedball with one over the top rope out onto the rest of the field. So that was kind of cool, but kind of a schmozzy finish, and kind of the post-match gimmick takes over, but a schmozzy finish.
Yeah, forget the match because it's all about the post. What happens?
Where Lashley gets into it with FTR, shoves both of them down. He makes his way back into the ring. FTR's up on the apron, distracts Christian, and he eats the spear. 1, 2, 3, match over. Champs, get the hell out of here. You're an afterthought. The big story here, Vet, the chat, is the patriarch Nick Wayne. They turn on Christian.
We called these two, Vet.
Oh God, yeah. I already see where they're going. God damn it.
See where they're going, bro.
Mama Wayne is in control now. She's calling the shots. She's up there. She looked kind of good in control as the shot caller.
Sure.
She has that presence about her. She's got the.
I know what you're saying.
Well, all those late night restaurant shifts. The manager didn't come in a lot of times, so she had to.
Got him the fuck up. That's why, right?
So FTR's still hanging out there. So they're getting ready to hit him with the Charlito and cue the music. Cue the music. Here he comes.
Everyone frozen in place. Can't swing the chair anymore.
Thank God.
Sabian was like this with the chair, dude. He was like,
thank God, because it took Cope 5 minutes. We got. Not he does where he runs to the edges, so he can hit these guys.
He still did that, did he not?
Yes,
he still fucking did that, bro.
Then we get pyros. Then he makes his way down the ramp, pauses and does more pyros. everyone's still paused in the ring here. So he comes in and makes the save. He's got, is his Janus or what's his weapon? But he's got his bat with all the nails in it.
Janus, it's, oh man.
He's swinging it around. So
I know this.
He runs everybody out of the ring. He hits a few spots. He lays everybody out. He grabs Christian. Christian's coming to now. He's been out of this the whole time. He grabs him. Christian, go find yourself. And then he leaves.
And Christian's like, oh,
Wow.
Yes. And Christian is left puzzled and wondering. He has some soul searching to do.
Oh man, that sounds like the shits. You know, the only difference between that and the first
Spike,
time
thank you, Todd.
Spike, the first time that Edge came in with his debut, the only difference is he got like before all that stuff you said, he got the video playing of him and Darby driving around the streets. Like he got to do that. So that tacked on like a few more seconds to the overall package. So they actually shortchanged the people at the stadium show here is what it sounds like. But yeah. So just to continue my crusade against Adam Copeland, like everything he does fucking sucks a dick. And this sounds like it was no exception. And, you know, I was like, damn, he couldn't even take the hint when he jumped off the top of the cage like a fucking moron and broke his leg to get out. And he just can't. All right.
He was kicking everybody too, mind you.
Yeah.
Just to show it
Funny
still
enough.
works.
But
It
Jimmy,
still
I know you were
works,
saying,
bro.
well, he was like, come on, dude, get to the ring. I was just like, what the hell?
I know, man.
You know?
It took forever, man. Like, I don't get why everyone's just frozen his time. Like, literally.
Well,
Like,
speaking of frozen in time, let's move on to the first of our big three main events. We broke down some of the backwards lead to this thing, but hey, it is go time now. Who's it going to be? Who's going to be walking out with all the gold in AEW for the women's division? It's timeless Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné. Big entrances. Moné,
Huge.
of course, has to ride out in a car, convertible car, because that's what Eddie did. Eddie did it, so I got to do it every time.
Viva la CEO.
Yeah, Toni
Great
gets
person to steal from in Texas.
Yeah.
Toni gets a big entrance as she comes down. Jimmy, the match stuff, I'll let you kind of break down some stuff here.
You know what, Rick? Is it just me or I felt like this match could have been so much better, dude. I don't know if I was gassed by this point, and probably was that. And maybe I need to look at it again. But I just felt like this match, I was expecting way more because, believe it or not, this is one of the very few matches I was really looking forward to.
I was looking for this one, and I thought they delivered pretty well in this thing. It was what I
Towards
expected of it.
They got the emotion down pat. I'll give him that. Like, it was emotional the way it ended and all that. That was cool. But I don't know. I was expecting more. The fans weren't really, at first, they weren't really into it, but they did get into it a lot later on. And to my horror and to my surprise, in many ways, Vet, because Toni Storm defeats Mercedes Moné to retain her title, but she did give Moné a Storm Zero off the top rope, which looked pretty brutal and pretty cool.
In the finish, because at one point, Toni hit her with, just down on the mat, hit her with 2 or 3 Storm Zeros.
Yeah, it was a lot of false
Mercedes kicks
finishes.
out. It's like, well, again, you're going to have that in these types of matches here. A lot of falsies inside of this thing.
Yeah.
But
Don't
so
need to have it though.
I know, but it's just what we get
for Mercedes. She's not that. That's a Megan Bain type of wrestler, not necessarily
Right.
Mercedes. So you could have had different
You're reaching
different
down,
ways
you're
to
fighting with everything you've got there, Vet. You know,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the finisher.
not as a heel. No.
Toni gives her the kiss up there on the
Yes, the kiss.
turnbuckles, and then hits her
Nice.
with
That's hot.
the second rope Storm Zero that finally puts down Moné. Real quick in the chat, I think might have been Labrat, but yeah, it was nice because she had the Texas Ranger cheerleaders bring out holding all the belts as well. So I mean, it was kind of
Nice. That's a lot of belts. So
right. And the best part about this, Jimmy T owes me $10 because
Yeah,
I
you
had
got
Toni
it.
in this thing.
Because we're arguing about this, not arguing, but like he was saying, no way Mercedes is going to win. It's going to be friggin' Toni
I
Storm.
thought it was right for the storyline to have out of Moné going anywhere.
got
in the
it,
world,
man.
Able to win these belts. The one that she can't get stands above all, and it makes the AEW women's title look so much better than all those others.
Yeah,
Because
but the only thing I
Moné
don't
and
like
all
now,
her efforts just fell short.
I just feel like now all those championships that she's got is just so meaningless now.
They were anyway. Can you name
I know. That's right. You're right.
DBS and the C mill.
Well, yeah.
This is 100%.
I agree.
See, now, there's obviously you could tell whichever story you want, and there's ways that you could go with this. So if you want to tell the story of like Mercedes can't win this title, and then you go into a downward spiral of losing all these titles back.
Oh, that'll be cool if that's the case. Right.
However, she did lose one of those titles already, so that even is a little bit cheapened because she had the New Japan Strong one, and they should have waited to drop that back to whoever it was. I forget. Now, like after this match, that could have started.
Now, I like that, and you start showing those on your television about how things are unraveling for her.
Yeah, and then you can either make her go more crazy, right? And then you take the fans' temperature. See if the fans start getting on her side the more she loses.
Nah, that would bring heat. That surely would bring heat.
Well, it depends. Look, a talented, again, the promotion, whatever the promotion wants to do, if they're good enough, they can do it. Obviously, AEW's not or hasn't been to this point. But I'm just throwing it out there as like an idea of something that could be done in the right hands.
That's a good idea. I actually like the sound of that. That would be pretty intriguing. Will they do it? I don't know, but let's see. It's wishful thinking though, V. You know it. That's what burns me the most. The fact that you say something great like that and it's simple.
This would be an opportunity. Like since you're going to be stupid anyway, this would be an opportunity to do even a better version of what they were trying to do with Baron Corbin.
Oh,
you know, where God. Like Mercedes used to have like
everything.
She used to have the steak dinner, you know,
but now
and then it's just like, and then eventually it's just a
steakums.
It's just a chicken sandwich, yeah, and then by the end it's the can of SpaghettiOs, you know, just on a plate.
Oh no, bro! Oh no.
Yeah, and then she tries to open it with the can opener, and the can opener breaks or something. Like, you know, just
she can't get into it.
Like, why would you even come out and sit out here if this is what's going to happen? But
that would be brilliant.
So. Nah, don't do any of that. That was horrible. That's a rib. Don't do it. Anyway, so Toni retains. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm glad. Hopefully the match delivered, but
the fans really were behind Toni though, for real.
Yeah, should have been.
Am I wrong in this? I mean, from my assessment,
I don't know. You were right, man.
Toni
Toni
is still one of the, if not the most over acts in AEW.
She is. Even though I'm sick of it, she actually is, though, man. I'll give her that credit for sure.
So
do you agree, Vic?
All around, it was the right call to me. I know you guys have been talking the other way there. We've got our number 2 of our 3 main events that put a lot into this build here. This is a very storied feud going around the globe, back to New Japan for these. Let me ask, Jimmy, I'll ask you this with you first here, because you guys have been following us. You're a New Japan guy. You've watched these guys from the get-go. A lot of the fans were sour on this go around. It can't match anything that they've done. This isn't worth watching in 2025. I thought these guys, it was going to be different. Sure, it was going to be different than what they could do 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was, and it very much was.
They're in 2 different spots, a different company, a different direction. Right. But I like the story. They came out here and put on one hell of a performance.
Yeah, look, it wasn't. They're 5 people.
If you want to talk about the story a little bit in the match.
Well, the story is, there's no real story other than their rivals that goes way back. You know what I mean? That's the story, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a hate per se.
Well, a little different here that Okada's like really leaning into the heel persona, right?
Yeah, but I still, forget all that. Really, it's still about their past. I mean, wouldn't you say, really, Vet, when it comes down to it?
Yeah, in New Japan, you could, a lot of times the story would be like
the best,
the matchups over the years, like how many times, just like in sports, like every time, like the Yankees or Red Sox,
Peyton and Brady,
some to that effect. It's like, it's because of the sport presentation there. It's like these guys are going to necessarily meet a number of times, and it becomes the story there. So the story there at that time was kind of that, like, Okada was the top of the mountain and Kenny was almost climbing it and getting kicked down. And then he finally, it was like try once, try twice, third time.
It was a big deal when he finally
right. So that was kind of it was a long-term story with they don't really like, they don't have to come out and do promos in the ring they don't really do that. It's just a card.
No.
So anyway, moving on. I actually did see some of this. I couldn't finish all of it.
It was long.
But one of the big differences that you're going to see, I don't know what I see what you're saying about the fans talking about before the match. After the match, I don't know what anybody said. I haven't got the temperature of that, but
neither do I.
I was surprised about that because I intentionally went this morning trying to get reactions and where people felt, especially about these main events, and I didn't see a lot of conversation about this.
Okay. So this is something that I would have known ahead of time, and I was confirmed by what I saw. But here's the thing. No matter what kind of match they have,
it's never going to live up.
Well, no, it's not that. They could have put on a carbon copy of one of their earlier matches, like Down to the Move. But because AEW shoots their show a certain way, it's not going to look as good. When New Japan shoots a match, they're the best in the world. They're better than WWE when it comes to framing a match with the angles, the coverage, they know, like all those guys are so on point. WWE has all the money and they have the tech, but when you're watching like a New Japan main event or something, like everything they do from the dissolves and transitions during the entrances, it absolutely makes you forget for a second that wrestling is phony and you think you're about to watch a big bout. AEW, WWE, nobody can replicate that feeling. And a lot, if you've ever been to live wrestling, and Rick, this, and Jimmy, this. When you're at live wrestling, you just sit there in your seat and that's what you see and that's what you get. And then you go and you see the angles and the stuff on TV, and it's a totally different deal because they're working to make everything look the best it could possibly be, whether it's covering somebody's inabilities or just making sure that it looks the best in the frame. Like, look how awesome this shot is. Look how awesome this angle is. When to do it, when to cut. Those things, you're not going to get that. So anybody that goes to see it live, you all see the same thing. But the difference between production value. So even if this match was as great as one of their previous matches, AEW can't shoot it that good. That's my point. But
that's
from what but from what I saw of the match, I watched about 25 minutes of it or however long. I don't even know. It's still going.
Still didn't finish it. Yeah.
I got a freeze frame on my screen of Ibushi going like this at ringside. But I mean, I've been saying for as long as I've been on HMG or whatever that Okada's the best professional wrestler, top to bottom checklist in the world. I don't see anything different here. I love listening to Jim Cornette be wrong about him. Just completely contradict everything he's ever said about wrestling philosophy, talking about one guy, the one guy that does everything he always says to do, and he's shitting all over him. It's just ridiculous. So I can't wait to hear his review of this match. But yeah,
that inside of itself should be a conversation. How much of this show was Cornette even able to get through?
Yeah, I don't think he watches, but it's so good. So he's still good. This match is good. I didn't see the finish. I know who won, but I didn't see the finish, so I don't know how that played out. But just the thing, the little details that Okada has that he does in the ring, or little facial expressions, or little attitude things, just always being in the right place at the right time and knowing what to do. And Kenny just completely, he hasn't had a big match in a while, so him delivering on his stuff, knowing everything he's been through and everything, nobody should have been disappointed. The only disappointing thing is that this is kind of not in the middle, not in the smack dab middle, but it's kind of in the middle of a lot of other stuff. And by the time you get to it, you
triple
may be
main event.
Exhausted. Yeah, triple main event. That's the other thing. Nobody in New Japan ever had to follow these guys. So, I enjoyed what I saw, but I didn't see all of it. So you guys can fill in the rest.
Jimmy,
well,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say you were pretty close to the end, though, actually, funny enough, Vet. If you actually watched the 5 more minutes, you probably would have seen the finish. And, the finish, of course, was, a kind of blasted Kenny with the Rainmaker for the victory.
Okada slips out of the one-winged angel.
Yeah, right. He was about to put him in the one-winged angel.
The kill shot there, the
lariat, the Rainmaker lariat for the victory. And you know what? The right man actually did win the match.
Jimmy, let me ask you, what about speculation that this might have been Omega's swan song? This might be the last match.
Well, if you go, he was on the Meltzer show, whatever it's called, Wrestling Observer, right, last week. And you know what, man? I haven't listened to it yet, but I've read a few, transcripts from it. And going by what he said, man, I mean, he knows himself. He's towards the end of his career. The way he describes his diverticulitis, however you pronounce it, I probably got it wrong, but still, you know what I'm talking about.
Some serious shit, too.
Literally serious shit, but not just serious shit. He was saying to Meltzer that every time he has a big match like this, for example, he can't get out of bed for 3 days, man. He's in that much pain, and he feels like that this could possibly be, he doesn't know how many matches he's got left in him. He's in that much pain. He's hurt all the time. He can't get out of bed. He has to get onto this different mindset.
That's what it is, because I know Stevie has a video up about it. And
that was a great video, dude. Yeah, the way Stevie, what he said is there's a whole thing about Kenny on Stevie's show. I highly recommend you go and check that out, everyone. What he says about Kenny is spot on, dude. And I hope, Kenny actually sees that, because he wants to reach out to Kenny. He actually wants to contact him and talk on a personal level. I just hope Kenny's all right, man, and he can go for another year at least. You know me, I've never hit it. I'm a big Kenny mark. Always have been. I don't like his shit today compared to back in the day, you know what I mean?
But if he ain't getting out of bed for days, I don't know. So
that's what he said, man. And if that's true, I mean, shit.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Talk about
you can't tell a wrestler when to hang it up. He's got to know, and a lot of times they don't. That's the sad part of it. It sounds like he does, but here's the thing.
Seems like he does.
Here's the thing, though. With everything he's been through recently, I personally, my feeling is, I just don't think he's given himself the proper time to recover. I think what he needs to do. Someone else said that. That's what I think. What he needs, what I think Kenny should do. I'm not gonna say needs, because that's but
I get
what I would advise Kenny do is step away from the physical part and really heal. Don't, because this whole time that he's been dealing with this diverticulitis, he's in the back of his mind like, I got to come back. But you got to get that out of your mind and say, I'm done until, because it's always those people that are told they're done and then they have to take the time off and then they come back, like the Daniel Bryans and the Edges and whatever, but he needs to actually heal. Don't come back too early. Let your stomach and intestines and everything fully recover. Wait till you're so bored of being healthy that you're like, you know what, I could go. And then you can train, and then you could come back, and you can have a last run, and it'll be a safe last run, because there's nothing that Kenny can really do that he wouldn't be able to do later.
Right.
A lot of his stuff is like just running and hitting a stiff knee. Like, you could do that in your 40s, 50s. It's no problem.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
Yeah, just hit a bunch of V triggers all match.
Bunch of
Goldberg came back and did nothing but hit spears and stuff. So it's just whatever. It's just, but the important thing is to take care of yourself. Make sure you're 100%. Don't come back at 85%, even 90%. And risk tearing your intestines back open. Just without the pressure of feeling like you have to come back. And the same thing with Adam Cole, without feeling like you have to come back. Step away. Don't say you retire, but say that you're stepping away. And when you feel the time is right, you'll know. And then we'll see what we have from there. And in the meantime, Kenny can help out in all the business ways that he's been helping out. He could be a mentor to people. He could, whatever. Just, he doesn't have to go away. He just has to stop having actual matches for a bit until he's healed.
It's funny, Vet. What you just said is exactly what Stevie Richards also says, man.
I know, I heard it.
Well, great.
Oh, you did? Oh, good.
There's no reason.
I didn't know you heard it.
Right. That just said it for you.
Yeah.
So Just stick on the Hamin page.
Well, is Hevie the best in the world? I don't think so. He's got the best show in the world. I'm the best person.
Yeah.
That's how we share the spotlight.
Yes.
Nice. Nicely played.
Talk about throwing everything at everything and needing to take a couple of days to rest
and more,
in bed.
Rick, and more.
Yes. I was just trying to come up with a list in my head, but let's focus our attention here. The main event of the main events, Texas Death Match. Everything in Texas. I've been talking about this tumbleweed blowing across the screen as the lone cowboy, the Hangman, takes on the Death Riders. But that was about the only weapon we didn't see in this match is the tumbleweed I've been talking about for weeks. Because they threw
sink?
Everything out.
No, there wasn't a sink. There wasn't a sink.
No sink or a tumbleweed, but we had shards of glass. We had chairs, tables, chains, shanks, plastic bags, complete beds of nails.
This was a jail. This should have been a jailhouse match or something like that.
It's Texas, so there was a gun, right? At least one gun.
There should have been, but unfortunately there wasn't. But there should have been, because there was murder and attempted murder going on in this match.
With every other weapon, it seemed like the only way anyone was going to win this vet would have been with a gun. That's what we had here.
Put it this way, I don't watch this match because this is the epitome of what the vet loves. This style. Completely.
This is anything you could imagine Moxley doing. Now,
chef's vomit.
Multiply that by 100.
Oh my God. Dude, I kid you
not.
not.
I still might being generous with that.
Look, a lot of people praise this, and I get it for what it is, the storyline. I get it. I'm trying not to be completely critical here, but
I know you guys were just completely.
I know. I want the vets. I want the vet's opinion on one thing. I want to see his reaction to this. You know when Hangman had his shank or fork, whatever the hell it was, and he's stabbing, legitimately stabbing Moxley on the head, man.
This is like
this match here?
In this match.
Okay.
He's literally stabbing him in the head. You see the blood, like there's no blade drop. This is legit, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is just psycho shit. Like, I mean, he's stabbing him, bleeding blood everywhere. Like the grill said, they needed a barbecue grill for a weapon. This was just feral, bro. Like, it was a whole bunch of shit going on, a whole bunch of shenanigans. It went long as a motherfucker. Hangman absolutely done everything he could to beat Moxley. He does get the win. He is, unfortunately, our new world heavyweight champion.
Gross.
But I don't know where to start. This match was such a
let me ask one thing before Rick speaks. Did they somehow figure out a way to get the Death Riders out of this from the beginning? Because otherwise they should have just all mobbed Hangman and held him down for 10 seconds. Because theoretically, what should be, would it be against the rules for the Death Riders to just lay on top of him while he can't get up for 10 seconds? They should have dogpiled him and won the match instantly. Right?
Right.
In logic, yes. In logic, yeah.
Right.
Well, you might have Moxley thinking, hey, I want to go out there and beat his ass. You guys are a backup plan. So they do get involved, but we do get the equalizers. Who is going to come to the
Denzel Washington?
Yeah.
Queen Latifah?
Yeah. Bound up.
Queen Latifah. UNITY. Anyway, you needed some unity, pal.
The first out is Ospreay, and the numbers game gets him. They end up beating him down.
Got gobbled up, literally.
Who else do we have in this thing? So eventually we get to return the guy that Moxley retired. He's under a mask. But we start getting the yes chance. Everyone knows who it is. We get the big running knee.
I thought it was the blue blazer, though, initially.
Who had a green mask on. So
was it green? Looked blue to me for some reason.
But we get Brian back. So he's there. Big pop, big reaction for him.
But wait, he didn't just put a bag over his head. What do you think Danielson did? After he nearly got murdered by Moxley, mind you.
I don't know. Did he put the label lock on him?
No, close enough, but he done the what do you call it? His kick, bro. Oh my God, why am I going blank again?
Not the S kicks.
The fucking his finisher, man. What's it called again?
The Psycho knee.
Yeah, the Psycho knee. That's what he did. That's it.
Oh, nerd name. Just got a fucking running knee, but he hits
It's
it.
Japanese. It's Japanese, all right. It's the name of the wrestler that actually
Japanese
made
are
that
It's
move.
sort of like it's sort of means something like ugly, like I'm gonna make you ugly after I hit you in the face with this, but whatever.
Well, that's what he did. He didn't actually make him ugly with a bag over his head. Instead, he just Basaka kneed him, and that was it.
So we have that. Also in the returns, we have he ascends
And
from
yes,
the top of Mount Everest.
Oh,
Darby Allin makes his way back into
but
the
why?
fold in
What
AEW.
for?
That's not even enough to put anybody away. So then they also introduce this bed of nails that
Dude,
that
this is
Hangman takes
ridiculous.
a DDT onto. Nails right to the head. Not enough.
Right.
Moxley takes a
Full
back
frontal
full
lobotomy.
back bump onto the damn thing. That's not enough.
Yeah.
It's more like acupuncture. I think it woke him up a little bit.
He probably was.
So then we finally Swerve now is going to help who slides Hangman the chain. They hang him. So through all of this going on here,
We had a crucifixion.
yeah,
Which real quick, if you remember, like I cut this out of the review, but I'll insert it back in here, director's cut. That when they were done having their CW, One Tree Hill talk on
Yeah.
on Collision
On
or whatever,
Dynamite.
like Hangman left the chain in the room, but then after he walked out of the room, Swerve looked down at the chain, picked it up, wrapped it around his fist, and looked at his own fist with the chain on it.
Long
Foreshadowing.
storytelling.
This here, what you're talking about now, using the chain.
yes. And
very nice.
Swerve
very
had
nice.
felt that himself before. He was on the other end of that,
Mhm.
as John Moxley was. But let the world rejoice. The AEW fans can find peace once again because the reign of John Moxley and the Death Riders has come to an end. As the Hangman Adam Page, the cowboy, is in his heroic efforts has
And his
taken
perm is
the
still there. Rick. Don't forget the
AEW
perm.
championship. And he opens up that case and he looks at that big, beautiful gold belt and he just can't help but shed a few tears there.
Everyone was crying on this show. It was a bit like Aaron says, hallelujah. I mean,
See,
it was-
they're celebrating in the chat. No matter how we got there, what was thrown at them, the end result, that's all that matters. And John Moxley is no longer your AEW champion.
I actually don't like that finish. I wanted Mox to win this. Dead set. And I know I said this to you. It's out of my bias, right? I know deep down in my head, I knew, like I was saying to you, that Hang person was going to win the match. But I so wanted Mox to retain, but unfortunately,
Brad
that
saying,
didn't
hey, man,
happen.
on the post show, this was a very coming of age moment for him.
Oh,
The only
So,
person
gentlemen, so we have the biggest show, All In, for AEW. We've got new directions. The Bucks, they have been stripped of their powers. The EVPs are out. The Death Riders have lost their hold of the AEW World Championship. A lot of
which of
development
course,
here.
as you know, now that John Moxley is briefcaseless, I mean, he could still have the briefcase and do the exact same thing he's been doing. There's just no championship inside it. I don't know what else would preclude him from changing any of his plans. This changes absolutely nothing technically, but I'm sure he'll be too devastated to carry it out. But anyway, continue.
You can carry whatever you need in there, right?
he could say it's a fake belt. That was a toy belt. And he still got the real world championship.
I guess
briefcase.
that could have been a moment if they actually opened up the briefcase and there was nothing in there, or like
That would have been brilliant.
like
I would've
one
laughed.
of those fake can of nuts and a bunch of like snakes jumped out or something like that.
The fake cannon nuts with the
You know, that would have been a great send off for All In there in Texas. Gotcha.
Yeah, jump scare
that
for
was-
Hangman.
That would have been.
They could have
great.
had had butterflies fly out.
But gentlemen, as you guys are responsible here on the Hamin Media Group platform each and every week. You sift through the wreckage. But as we turn the page, no pun intended here, what does this mean for brighter days and going forward for AEW as a whole after this big show? And they start kind of build towards their future.
There's a whole.
I'll leave that to you.
That for you.
What is it? What does it mean for the future? Absolutely nothing. There's been nothing planned beyond this point. I'm not sure anything was planned to this point. It just looks like a lot of painted into a corner. So this is what we got to do. I was even interested. It was kind of interesting to even listen to you guys break down the triple threat tag team title match, because I didn't know who won that. And that was an opportunity to get the belts off the Hurt Business without beating them. But it sounds like they didn't even do that much. So that just kind of shows you like very little foresight. It's very much, Apollo Creed and Rocky 3 booking. There is no tomorrow. Everything has to be done right now. We have to do everything in every match right now because, the world is going to explode any second. So we just have to get all of our shit in and leave nothing for tomorrow. So now that Hangman is the champion, and as I've already laid out, Hangman being the champion of AEW actually changes absolutely jack shit of fuck all about what John Moxley and the Death Riders want to do. They can still storm around arenas, kidnap people, try to murder them or whatever. It has no bearing on who's the actual champion of the company.
They still have their trios championships.
Yeah, so it's like,
right.
What does it mean for the future? Nothing. It's going to be the same thing.
Jimmy, are you expecting any changes, or are we just rolling on?
It's even worse. We're going back to the future with this shit again. Like Hangman, How many times? Is this the fourth time now he's champ at this point?
It's only the second.
It's probably second. But the fact that the fact that he was ever champion at all, it's like, yeah, we've done this. It's not that novel of an idea. So
yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know what's going to be different this time than the previous time.
I do want to see, though, what they do with the Dick Riders at this point, because usually with AEW, they seem, when they're the thing, like the whole thing of the show, once they lose the world championship, it's like they disintegrate. It just goes poof, and it's done. That's one thing I've noticed with AEW a lot of the times, they just stop. And I've got a feeling, don't be surprised if they just fade away now.
It's so corny. This whole, like, the whole wrestling bubble world that they create is so corny because not only do they keep popping it on purpose, like I said, with all the exposing the business post-show shit they do. So they create this bubble, then they pop it, then they put the bubble, they blow another bubble, and then they pop it again. So in this bubble, it's like, not only it's AEW, but also WWE does the same thing where it's like,
a lot of popping.
If you're the champion, you somehow run the entire business. Yeah, like when Roman Reigns was the champion, it's like nothing could stop anybody in WWE management from doing anything about all of that interference that was happening in all those matches, like all that ridiculousness. They couldn't force him to defend the belt more often than 15 times in a year or 2 years or 3 years or however long it was. Like having the championship somehow means you rule the world, which makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense, but they keep doing that. And it's just a little bit silly. So
what are you talking
about? There's no shoot or kayfabe reason why anything should change in AEW, really.
Right, really.
The Kansas City Chiefs do that in the NFL. They had the Super Bowl and they were making their own rules. The refs just done stuff for them. It worked.
We get 6 downs.
Yes, right.
Yeah, and we could put 20 men on the field. Like, how's that any different than the bloodline running in with like their whole family interfering in matches? Everybody, all the referees in the back that aren't running out are seeing it. Nobody's getting DQ'd. Why don't the Kansas City Chiefs put 20 men on the field? No problem.
That's what the chat is talking about. We'll maybe try to clarify that, but you guys have an answer here because I was confused about it, especially by Kenny's statements on it. I saw on social media when he was with Meltzer, but this unified match between those, there's just a new belt. No, there's 3 championships now.
So basically we had 2 Intercontinental Championships, basically.
So it's like a triple crown champion now. So they're still going to have the Continental Classic and all of that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that sorts out.
Actually,
but they said it was unified.
Right.
That's what it's called, the Unified Championship.
They're calling the new one the Unified, but somehow the other 2 still exist.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
All right, let's end this show. I'm tired of this.
that just head fucked me. Then I'm like, no, don't say that.
We're running in a loop now. But yes, all right then, ladies and gentlemen, that is your weekend AEW from Dynamite to All In Texas. A total there of about 14 hours.
Wow.
We knocked it out in just about 2.5.
But wait, Rick, there's more because we will be back actually tonight, 10 minutes right after Evolution actually goes off the air. We're not sure exactly when Evolution is going to go off the air, but when it does, we'll be on 10 minutes right after it does go off the air.
Between 9:30 and 10.
Right, somewhere along those lines. So look out for that, where it's another Smack Attack, but this time it's an extra Smack Attack. We'll be covering those two particular shows. But before I give my bit, Rick, since you're the guest, tell them where they can find you and what you're doing, man.
You can find me back here later on. That's about all my life is. I'm going to take like a 5-hour wrestling break.
Wow, I might take a month off at this point. Yeah. Vet, tell them what you're doing, man. And you're streaming right after this show, right?
Most likely. You can find me at Twitch and every other place at Opinion Haver. That's just that's the brand. So look for that. Google me and you can go from there. If you like to check out other HMG stuff, of course, we have the Impact Attack every Monday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern with Brandon, where we talk about TNA and how they're fucking up their company. If you want to talk about, more NX, like CW level girl promos and stuff like we saw with Hangman and Swerve on Collision,
I feel bad for you guys Wednesday.
You can find Big Ray and myself every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern for the Next Level Wrestling Review show. We talk about the NXT portion of the partnership, and we've got other great channels that we want you to check out aside from HMG, including Wrestling with Rip Rogers every Friday, except for this past Friday, but every other Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, concrete time. I was actually asked to fill in this week, but I wasn't able to, sadly, on Friday, so maybe next time. But we've also got every Friday, we already mentioned, the best wrestling program in the world, the Stevie Richards Show. Nobody can touch his production. He is the New Japan of pro wrestling show production. It's a show, not a podcast. Although I listen to it as a podcast. But check out the Stevie Richards Show every Friday. Their new episode drops. So check out Limpin' Ain't Easy with Timmy Baltimore every Wednesday, premiering a new video this week, The Living Legend Mickey James.
Awesome listen.
Absolutely awesome listen. Shout out to Timmy Baltimore. And as far as I go, look out for an all-new edition of the Smack Attack Extra, where you'll find it tonight again, 10 minutes after Evolution finishes and goes off the air. You'll find me and RBV right back in the saddle, talking all things Saturday night's main event, and of course WWE Evolution. And also go and check out the Smack Attack we did yesterday too, which is right here on Hamin Media Group's YouTube channel and on channelattitude.com. Also check out I Like It Raw. If you like your WWE Raw, then tune in every Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern with myself and Big Ray Hernandez for your Raw review show, I Like It Raw, every Tuesdays, 10 a.m. Eastern.
Now featuring less Seth Rollins.
Yeah, it's true. Interesting.
Speaking of next week on Smack Attack Vet, we might need to recruit you for a portion of the show. You got to stick around for the Blue Brand review, but we are going to be doing a special. We're going to be deep diving, talking all about NES and Super NES and early arcade wrestling games.
Ooh.
So I figured go to the vet for that. I am the right
person for that.
Yes, I've got a bunch of questions. Jimmy was trying to answer, and we said, you know what? Let's just dedicate half the show to it next week, so we'll have a little special episode.
Yeah, Jimmy's just terrible. I mean, look, he's not even here. Oh, hey, Jimmy.
Mike, my browser crashed. But what were you saying? We continue.
I was just saying we're throwing out an invite there to Vet to join us for at least half of next week's Smack Attack, because we've got a video game special that we're going to be putting together, wrestling video games, talking to our early arcades and the NES and the Super NES.
Yeah, join us for that. Actually, Vet, you'll be perfect for that.
I'll see what I can if you guys are working in my schedule.
All right, cool. We'll obviously discuss that during the week. And is there anything else we need to promote? I think that's about it.
I'll just wait for you to hit end, son of a bitch.
Well, in saying that, I am your host, Jimmy T. He is my co-host, the best in the world, Jamie the Vet Williams. And of course, we got R to the B to the V. And you've been listening and watching the
Ricky. Hey, you want to do one, Rick? You want to do it? Here,
yeah.
Cue him up, Jimmy.
Get it out of here. Get it out of here. Get it out of here.
Say Wreckage. Just say it once.
I'm about to go wreck some Skyline chili right now.
Oh, you heard the man. So, in saying that, Thank you for watching and tuning in. We'll see you later on tonight for the Smack Attack Extra. Till then, peace out and goodbye.